That's what I'm talking about. What's going on, everybody? Welcome everyone to a pleasant Tuesday evening. It is Tuesday late afternoon, early evening here, right around 4:29 p.m., just about 4:30 p.m. Eastern, as we are moving into the conclusion of day 11 of Shire. Well, not the conclusion of that. It's day 11 of Shire Adventures. It is the conclusion of Most Excellent Fireworks and getting ready for a fellowship phase, the final fellowship phase before the segment of Shire Adventures, which is coming next. And I'll have a big announcement about that I'm going to be talking about in a little bit. But before I get there, just a couple of reminders about ways to support the channel. If you haven't done so already, please follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube channel with !ArvTube, and please do subscribe to us over there. It's free to do so, but you'll be able to see past broadcasts of this and other streams, and it really does help us out. So if you can do that, that would be most lovely. !ArvTube for that. !ArvCord is our Discord channel, where you can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams, which is always great. And thank you very much for the cheer, Tren. Also, I like that. Very cool. That is a very cool emote. Thank you, Tren. I appreciate that. And thank you also to Tren for the resub today. And thank you also to Atari Tunes, rather, for the sub. And thank you also to Arinth for the sub. Thank you, everybody, for the subs and resubs and all that sort of good thing. So yes, you can join us over on our Discord channel as well, !ArvCord. Twitter is !ArvTweets. That is where I am until that site collapses. And then I'm also on Blue Sky now, !ArvSky. So please feel free to come over and follow me there as well. Website for this, arvanelleron.com. Financially, !ArvShop is the merchandise area where you can get stuff for all things, including this campaign soon, TM, along with Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks is also going to be coming in pretty soon as well. !ArvShop for that. !ArvTreon is the Patreon, which is really the financial backbone of the channel. You can get cool stuff for both yourself and the channel as we move towards various channel goals. So please jump over and support us there. And also, of course, you can do what those other folks have done today, which is to sub to the channel and build upon the great success of our subathon about a week and a half ago, which went super well. And we'd love to see that keep going. So please do jump on board and spread the word and sub to the channel if you can. That would be much appreciated. And you can get, again, those custom sub badges and emotes to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch, plus inspiration to help our players. And all of that stuff is really, really good. So any kind of support that people could give there would be very much appreciated. On the publishing side, !Icarus for my graphic novel from Athos Arts, Library for my Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library. That's my 5e adventure and source book from Alligator Alley Entertainment, and Greyshade is my my Grey Assassin trilogy. Both Greyshade and Renegade are out, and those are the first two books in the Grey Assassin trilogy from Athos Arts. The final book in the trilogy, Heretic, will be out next year, as will the tabletop role-playing game from Brandon O'Brien and Alligator Alley will be coming out later as well. So you can pre-order Heretic and the tabletop role-playing game. TTRPG is coming out from Alligator Alley, as I said. Those two things you can pre-order at that Greyshade link, and you can also order Greyshade and Renegade and the audiobook of Greyshade done by our very own Tren Sparks as well if you jump over there and support us there. So please consider doing that. That would be lovely. And again, really appreciate the support in all of those measures. Last but certainly not least, BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. Hey, Wispy. Help Now is the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage. And we send the message that we will do so for others in that situation as well. Also, thoughts are with those in the Middle East right now as well, with current circumstances. That has been, again, very, very hard to watch, and I know even harder to live through for people who are there. So again, thoughts are in that direction as well. Okay, quick note about scheduling. We have got this going on tonight. I will then be off I personally will be off until Saturday because I will be driving up to Canada for CanCon, which is the yearly convention that takes place in Canada and Ottawa, run by Marie Bilodeau and many other amazing people people, Brendan Crilly and Derek Kunskin and many others. So I'm very excited to be up there. And in fact, our good friend Amal El-Matar will be there as well. So I'm excited for that. I've got a panel Friday night. I've got a reading, a signing, and another panel on Saturday. And then I have a special event on Sunday at Perfect Books in Ottawa with Brandon Crilly, who wrote Catalyst that came out from Athos Arts. So Brandon and I are going to be doing this signing and reading event and book chat event. So that's going to be a good time. I'm very excited for that. That'll be happening on Sunday, which means Friday, no stream. Saturday, very up in the air. Depends totally on scheduling. I would say 50-50 on whether there's a stream or not. And then I will be back on Tuesday with more of this same thing, GogCom and Solasta, followed up by Shire Adventures coming up after that. So that's the plan. But there is one big thing I need to remind everyone of, which is tomorrow, Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, we will be welcoming Negocios and Fernales into the mix with Carlos Hernandez and CSE Cooney. I am very excited that they are going to be doing this because their Kickstarter has just launched. And in fact, if I take a quick look here, so theirs starts at 4:30 tomorrow. If I look right now, Negocios, I have already backed it. And the last that I checked, let me see, they had like $3,800 funded this morning. I haven't had a chance to check it since. Yeah, so they're at $8,998. So they're only a little less than $1,000, a little over $1,000 away already from getting this thing funded. So it looks likely they will have this thing funded within 24 hours, which means they can move on to stretch goals and all that. So if you've watched any of the Infernal Salons or anything like that, you definitely want to check this out from us, with our channel, then you should definitely check this out on my channel tomorrow, starting at 4:30 p.m., where they'll be running an actual full Negocios game, and it is going to be pretty awesome. They're going to be featuring Will Sobel, Anna Russell, Brandon O'Brien, and I cannot remember the fourth person. I don't remember who it was. Let me see. I don't recall off the top of my head. Let me see. Okay, we didn't. Right, let me look up for Will. All right, let me see what Will said, because Will posted this, I know. Okay, not that. This thing, not that. Okay, go down the thing. There we go. Oh yes, and Cassandra Caw. How could I forget? I couldn't remember who the last person was. So yes, so Cassandra Caw, Brandon O'Brien, Will Sobel, and Anna Russell will be playing with Carlos, who is going to be there, hanging out and sort of working them through a game of Negocios, and that should be a ton of fun. And the fact that we're now over 9,000, it's over 9,000. 9108 means you'll definitely want to be here for that. But they're obviously dear friends, and I wanted to make sure that they got a little bit of support and love for this as we kind of go through. But with that said, I am now get ready to go. So I'm going to unmute myself and apologize to anyone whom I may have interrupted inadvertently. And then I'm going to unmute them. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to head over to reveal the almost full crew. And you will see there is the seat perilous there. There's the chair, the empty chair of goodness. I was stretching out to see if we could actually have the person here, but Amal is going to be here shortly, and I figure by the end of our introduction she may well be here, and then we'll be able to get rolling with our session today. But yes, I am very glad to see that we are up to now 9108 for that Negocios, and it funds at 10,000, so they've done exceedingly well. So congratulations so far to Carlos and Claire, and let's keep it up. They will be playing tomorrow on my channel at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, so you will definitely want to check out that Negocios game as they continue to move onward and upward with this very cool game. But now I want to talk to these folks about this very cool game, and I will start with the gentleman at the top right of your screen, who has currently got a full battle plan / blueprint of an X-Wing, and that, of course, is our very own Brad Bollier. Brad, good to see you. How's life in the universe with you, and who are you playing today?
Things are pretty good. Since we last talked, I had that talk up in Wisconsin Rapids at the library. I was invited to years ago, and then went back. And it was kind of funny. Like I went there, and then like I couldn't quite remember my previous visit. to this place. Like it was when I went there before, I remember now it was like sunny, and I went up there for like I was in and out. And then this time I stayed overnight and it was like gray and threatening rain, a little bit of rain the day of and stuff. And the guy that I was working with was different. It had sort of changed hands and stuff. And it was in the before times, like the other visit and stuff. It's like it's amazing to me how different everything feels like in the pre-pandemic days. I don't know. It feels like this wall of fog, exists between the
Yeah,
now and
yeah,
the
yeah.
then. Anyway, that was fun. I really enjoy giving talks on writing and talk. We had a small panel, 3 people for our audience at their book festival, and that's always fun for me talking about that stuff. It kind of gets me energized to talk about writing.
And I heard that
So
that Lit Reactor sadly is shutting down, and I know you've done stuff with Lit Reactor, right? As I recall.
yeah, I just saw that last night. So for those who aren't aware, litreactor.com specializes in these uh, uh, online classes, but they're like sort of work at your own pace. So you watch like a video or you read a section of the instruction. Usually broken up into weeks somehow, different segments. And then you turn in and you get things graded through their system and stuff. And it was it was nice. I mean, I had in each class anywhere from say 8 people to 12, 14 people, something like that. And it was just a nice way to interact with folks, and it was over a longer period of time. You got to know them a little bit through the instruction and stuff. And anyway, sadly, they lost someone along one of the original founders, I think, passed away a couple of years ago. And since then, it's just been difficult for the remaining crew to sort of keep things up and stuff. But it was a great resource. And I don't know, hopefully there's, others like it
Yeah.
or, other things can take its place. So yeah, that's fun. And Gen Con as well, doing in-person seminars there is always fun too.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah. So so that's my outside life, and along with working on the next book, chugging along, getting ready for the book 1 of my new series, The Dragons of Deepwood Fen, comes out in December. So everyone looking for epic fantasy with a Romanesque empire, lots of dragons, keep an eye out for that.
Lots of dragons.
And today, so I am playing Caloran Fallowhide, who is a messenger, a budding map maker, budding musician. I was looking forward to finding once and for all these gosh darn fireworks.
Yes. Once we can, once we attend to the small matter of a, of a lost dwarf and an old decrepit orc,
burn-scarred orc.
Yeah, exactly. But not the same.
One,
I was gonna say, right? Not that orc. It's a very different orc. But yes, I also excited for that new book, by the way, and there may be more information coming from me shortly about this new book of Brad. So good stuff, Brad, as always. Excited to see what Cal gets into today. Also excited to hear about what Tari is going to get up to with her character. But first of all, it is great to see you, Tari. How is life in the universe with you? Pipe in hand and ready to go. How you doing, and who are you playing today?
I'm doing good. Currently the coffee is kicking in, so now I'm a bit hyper. And will probably stumble a bit over my words. However, I've been to the first time to a heraldry convention type thing.
Oh yeah,
here in the Netherlands. The Dutch Heraldry Day, Nederlandse Dag van de Heraldiek, which was fun.
Of course.
As you do.
Yes. And yes, it was mainly old men there, and I did stick out a little bit. But
please tell me everyone
fine.
had like flags and crests and like all like that room had to be like.
I was waiting for that expression. I was waiting.
What? You could have a crest. I said different things. I didn't say the same thing.
No. He didn't technically say anything wrong. It's just like because usually people use the term crest wrong.
I know.
Like, immediately all the alarms go off.
I know, but I didn't say anything yet.
You didn't actually say anything wrong. That's correct. There weren't actually a lot of crests to see.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I guess like people in the Netherlands mainly care about shields.
I see.
In England, they're very obsessed about crests, and in Scotland too. Not so much in the Netherlands. Yeah, that was fun. A lot of cheese to eat there, which was nice.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah, like they had like the most bougie cheese platters afterwards for everybody to devour. It was amazing.
Plenty of cheese to eat is one of my favorite phrases of all time.
Yeah, I mean, really, like I really.
I just
coming
really
from Wisconsin,
love
Wisconsin
cheese.
boy.
So yeah, that was nice. Of course, left too much money there to buy like old books and stuff. Almost bought like a 100-year-old copy of some. I mean, I could tell you guys the title. It's an important book about heraldry from England. But like, I was like, okay, this book is like so old and decrepit. If I just try to open it, will just fall to dust. And I would like to actually use it and read it.
Yeah.
So I'd rather get one of the reprints for a little bit less money. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. But besides that, now I'm here, playing the one and only Granny Lavender, who is an herbalist and an apothecary, and she hails from Hobbiton and is the grandmother of one Coriander, who will introduce herself a bit later on today.
Yes, who playing to type is currently not present, as hidden somewhere. But yes,
I sent her to a room.
Okay, and she escaped within 3 seconds.
Which is a long way from here.
Yeah, exactly. You go back. Anyway,
she has to walk all the way over there and back again.
In the rain.
In the rain the whole time. Exactly. It is always a pleasure to have Tari with us. I'm excited to see about Granny Lavender and all of the stories about the way things were in the old days. But moving right along, last but certainly not least, of course, we have one Mr. Tren Sparks, who is with us and has returned to play some more of Shire Adventures with us. Tren, my friend, how are you?
I'm also not last this time.
That's true. That's actually true. You are not. You are third out of 4 because we're still waiting in the seat perilous up there. So how are you, Tren? How's life in the universe with you, and who are you playing in this campaign?
Well, I realized earlier today that it's October 10th.
That is true.
And that means it is 34 years ago today that I joined the U.S. Army to become an infantryman.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Also my brother's birthday.
34 years. And what? Also your brother's birthday? Well, happy birthday, brother.
I was going to tell Amal, happy Thanksgiving, because it was Canadian Thanksgiving yesterday.
Right.
And
happy Thanksgiving to any Canadian viewers in the chat.
And I was also going to wish, because I already wished my housemate a happy Indigenous Peoples Day, because that's going on, and a happy fuck Christopher Columbus Day. So there we go. That's
my university has renamed that now just fall break, which is literally one day and happens to fall exactly that way. They're like, we don't deal with anything. It's fall break. Like just that's your day. And they're like,
instead of spring break.
Because when I got there, it was Columbus Day, and then they stopped calling it that, and then they're like, it's fall break day is what it is. So,
and there she is.
The perfect timing.
I
continue.
can now say happy Thanksgiving, Amal.
Yes.
Thank you. I only just joined audio in time to hear Tren say happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
My work here is done.
No.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. But who are you playing, Trent?
I am playing a very, very focused right now. Titch Applebow, who when last we met our heroes, which I'm sure this guy's gonna mention again at some point, upon seeing an orc, has gone from, look, I don't know if we should be down here, to kill, and he has got his spear and he's charging.
Yeah.
So that's where we're starting today. Titch is a basically a guard captain. If he survives long enough, he will be the old man at the gate in the city of Bree who gets trampled when the Nazgul come through and guy that Hobbits, 4 Hobbits. Who knows where he picks up the accent? I don't know, but yeah.
That is what will happen, which is so strange to be like, this is how we know he will meet his end. But between now and then, it's like a very strange version of Christopher Pike in the Strange New Worlds. Like, is he going to hit the thing? Like so. Anyway, but it is a great pleasure as always to have Tren with us, and also a great pleasure to have Amal Amatar with us as well. So Amal, welcome. How are you? It's good to see you. Thank you for making it back. And how's life in the universe with you, and who are you playing today?
Yes, thank you for bearing with me, as I didn't realize I had double booked a physio appointment. So anyway, it was necessary. Now I can sit for some time due to being in different kinds of agony. It's great. Anyway, so what were your questions?
I was just asking how you were doing and who are you playing?
I'm doing okay. Yes, Thanksgiving was really nice. And got to have a lovely big meal with the family, and it was really good. And CanCon is happening this weekend. And I'm very much looking forward to that. And my very dear friend and friend of the stream, CSE Cooney, is coming to visit during that time, so she's going to be here. Also, speaking of CSE Cooney, I could save this for the end, but I'm not going to. Today, they launched Negocios Infernales.
We already talked about it, because they're going to be on my channel playing a game of Negocios Infernales tomorrow night. So yes.
Excellent. Yep. Well, I can tell you, it is delightful. It is so great. The deck's amazing.
Agreed.
And anyway, so I'll trust you've said everything there.
Is that a Kickstarter?
Yeah.
Or?
It's a Kickstarter, right? Yeah, they launched it this morning, and it's currently 9,173 out of 10,000. So they will easily fund by the end of the day, which means they can move on to stretch goals and all that kind of good stuff. So
clearly you haven't talked about it yet, because Brad didn't know about the Kickstarter.
I don't know what I specifically. Yeah, that's true. I was doing it during part of the introduction, so Brad was probably hanging with you folks.
But anyway, so I'm very excited about that. Things are nice. It's very autumn now. We'd had some very, very hot weather literally just last week, and now it is we turned the heating on today for the first time this season. It's good. I'm enjoying that. And I'm playing Coriander Took, who is a frankly sweetheart who's never done anything wrong ever in her life, and is now she's very dexterous and acrobatic and uses her powers only for good, and as granddaughter to Granny Lavender, and has never seen an orc before, so.
Has never seen an orc before, and is dealing at the moment with a level of exhaustion, sadly, not from the orc, but from the previous travel through, as we will talk about in our recap. And I wanted to make an announcement. I want to wait till Tren's here, though, so I will start the recap, and then we'll jump back to make the announcement when I can. But so, Chad, in our last session, the members of the most excellent conspirators were on their way to try to track down the use of some fireworks that were not properly being used. They certainly belonged to Gandalf. There should have been nobody else doing it. So how these fireworks were fired off was unclear. I think it's fair to say at best. And so they went and have tracked down several bits of information to try to gather more details. What they discovered is, as is often the case, the Sackville Bagginses were at least partially to blame. They managed to track down the Sackville Bagginses and found out that one of them had been given eventually to Otho, who went off to the north and basically had taken this stuff and the fireworks up to the north. But he stopped into Filbert for a nightcap, I guess you might say. And what the party discovered when they got there, after several, the weather being bad and having to deal with all this stuff and Coriander becoming exhausted and all that, what they ended up discovering was that Otho had heard from Philibert about this lost mine that was haunting a tunnel within this quarry that is found right to the north of Scary, of the town of Scary, and that in that mine was supposedly a great deal of treasure. And so Otho, who was drunk, decided that he had just the thing to open up the mine and to be able to get the treasure that he needed. Party put two and two together, figured that a bag of fireworks was probably something a drunk person would be likely to use, and so ended up going into the mine themselves. They had to do so, of course, with care. They had to figure out a way to find a secret entrance, kind of sneak their way in without anybody noticing, etc., etc. Managed to do that and got all the way to managed to get all the way through this darkened mine, where they found a Otho screaming madly at a creature, yelling, "It's my treasure, ye monster! Mine, mine! I'll blow it to rumble before I let ye have it!" And what they saw actually was, hoping that this is the, I don't think this is the right one.
Are Merry and Pippin even born yet?
Let me do this one here.
I think so.
Yeah, I think they would be.
But they are kids, like small kids, I think.
That's right.
I can check the dates.
But as you can see, chat, this is what they actually saw. This decrepit orc veteran who is threatening Otho. And it is literally with that they are prepared to perhaps the creature has done nothing until he's seen them and then is going to turn to attack. And as we've already said, Titch is going to be all about that attack in return in just a minute. But so that is basically the recap of what happened in our last session. The plan today is to go through Most Excellent Fireworks by hopefully defeating this orc, or TPK if the orc somehow defeats all of them. We'll see. And then having our final fellowship phase, which will set us up for the next and last segment of Shire Adventures. And here's where I can make a little bit of an announcement about this. It's bittersweet, I would say. We have one more segment of Shire Adventures we're going to be doing, which is called To Sue the Savage Beast. And that is going to be the conclusion of Shire Adventures. We have a couple of players, specifically Amal and Brad, who are going to have to move on because of overloaded schedules. I certainly know that feel, and sadly are not going to be able to continue to play after we wrap this next portion of the adventure. So we'll have a chance to talk more with them about their feelings about the whole campaign and all that stuff. Obviously Amal has been there for a very long time, and Brad has been with us for a good long time as well. So we'll have a chance to talk about to them about both of those things. But we won't do that today. But I did want to announce that Shire Adventures is going to be coming to a close when we wrap this in early November, I believe it is. We have one session coming up next week again, and then one more in November, which will wrap it up. However, chat, before you give your way entirely into despair, before the darkness overtakes you, I am happy to simultaneously announce that starting in either later in November or starting the following month, is going to be
December for those,
which would be December. Those who are keeping track at home, yes, is going to be a new campaign of this. This is Beowulf: Age of Heroes, and it is by Handiwork Games, and it is a duet system, meaning it's designed for a GM and a single player. And two of our players here, specifically Tari and Tren, are going to be playing with me in alternating time periods. So basically alternating sessions. So basically we'll have 2 sessions a month. One of them will be Tari. One of them will be Tren playing their characters. And the idea is as they go through this, eventually they may connect perhaps as heroes. Perhaps they will have gathered together their forces, and perhaps they will have put together mead halls and become ring givers and treasure givers and all that stuff. But this is a very cool system that I've been looking forward to trying for a while. Both of them were up for it. I kind of wanted to do a duet thing, partly watching Tren's session of Highlander with Grimjack when he was doing that some years ago. And I had a feeling that Tari was not going to be a hard sell on, hey, would you like to do Beowulf that involves a lot of Nordic and Scandinavian tales that may involve you using some flags/heraldry? And so Tari basically, before I was like, so Beowulf, where do I sign, was more or less how right. That came up.
The thing is, I wanted to play this anyway, but I didn't expect this to be here on the channel. I plan to play that with my boyfriend.
Well, listen, and you can still do that. Not once you'll still be able to do that, but it's going to be good times. And we will have art provided by One Tari Tunes, and we will have a song a custom written song provided by Atari's boyfriend, who happens to play in a folk metal band. So that's going to be very slick. I'm very excited about that. And will also give me a chance. Yeah, go ahead.
Chad still has to roll against Shadow, but they have advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly right. And I, I have to say that it also gives me the chance every time I start a session to be like, listen, because I can just do that every time because Beowulf. I just want to be able to do that, really. So
I feel you should do it the way Maria Devonna Headley does it and go, bro.
No, I know. Yeah. It was bro. It's really great. I've taught Beowulf for many years, and I think it's going to be fun. And it's actually
Is he a good student?
It's somewhat, yeah. He was a little headstrong, I think, was always talking about how he could do things better than anybody else. I have to say also that there is a little bit of a connection here too, because of course Professor Tolkien translated Beowulf and was intimately familiar with it, and a lot of the stuff that we get in The Hobbit, for example, the stealing of a golden cup from a dragon which pisses the dragon off, is literally the end of Beowulf, and is the reason that the dragon gets angry and Beowulf has to deal with it. So there are some inspirations there. I will of course be sad to lose Brad and Amal from a playing point of view, but I totally understand why, and I feel extremely fortunate that they've been generous enough to be able to give us their time over the last years, and we will have a nice closing out, I think, to Shire Adventures to kind of wrap that all up. So that's our big announcement. I am, one door closes, but another one will open, and so that's great, and we'll talk more about post-mortems later, but we have some adventure to play yet. Yes.
As a small aside, has anybody written Bilbo Wolf yet?
Ooh, Bilbo Wolf.
That sounds like an opportunity just waiting to be seized.
That seems right. I'd like, the pan
Fanfic,
that I was just thinking about like it would have to be like the skillet that soared the sandy seas of, we'd have to do something that like all fits with like eating and adventuring and second breakfast and all that. Yeah, exactly. Effect Life. That's how I feel, is exactly the same way. So, but again, we'll have more time for most postmortems. Now we have another postmortem to deal with, hopefully, and that's the postmortem of this orc. So let us.
Unless,
we need to mortem him first, and then we can get to the post part.
Right.
Have you established yet how muscular the orc's arms are for like a certain player at the table?
I see. This is not the same.
Sorry, who exactly are you targeting here?
There are multiple options.
Yeah. I feel like you're unfairly targeting one person who I shan't name, when in fact there's more than one.
Good times.
Just
good
a little
times.
callback to the previous party.
Yes.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
No, I see you. You know exactly what you're doing.
Let us, as we think back to that pleasant time, let us roll some initiative, please. And I'm going to fire up some music. I think it's appropriate that this combat music I'm playing is, quote, Combat 3 Lower Depth. And we are in the lower depth, so I think that's very appropriate.
By the way, Mary and Pippin are not born yet. Mary will be born in 22 years.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
22
Unless
years?
I got my numbers wrong again, but I don't think I did.
I would say don't forget to click your token before you roll initiative, but I have no control over my token, so...
Wait, do you not? I gave you... Why is that? Okay, hold on. Let me fix that. Titch. Save.
Mm-hmm. There. Now I have control over my token.
Let's see. Okay, Granny is correct.
I have control.
Of course, Granny is correct. Granny is always correct.
Granny is always correct. Okay.
Okay. I just rolled a natural one. That is stupid because I started charging at the end of the last episode.
Are you doing one of those like cloud things where you're just like, and then you finally start running?
The build up,
Oh man.
I forget why there's these split initiatives.
Yeah, I don't understand that either, and
fractions. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's
it is
not.
for in case that there is a draw, so that it's like, hey,
whoever has the higher dex, gets the higher number.
All right.
This
is very funny, but it is so funny because Titch was literally charging and Coriander is literally exhausted, and yet.
Well, your initiative, you get to actually sit there and go, "I'm exhausted" on your initiative.
Yeah.
What do you have?
myself, exhaustion
sure.
doesn't apply to combat rolls, right?
That's right. It's only going to apply to ability checks. It also does not apply to saving throws, which is good because you could run into those in combat. Cal, I have you with... Wait a minute. That lost mine is not working with the combat. Okay. So, Cal, you had a 19. Yep. Coriander had a 19.2. Okay. And then... Let's see.
What does your initiative show on your character sheet?
It says, like, to me, I see 5.2.
On your character sheet, it says that?
Yeah, on where initiative is, yeah.
I have to see if I can fix that whole business. Like, that's just not...
It says 15 armor class, 5.2 initiative, 25 speed.
Yeah, no, it's like 5 is your initiative modifier, and the point whatever is your initiative, is your dex modifier.
Half your dex
score.
Okay.
Like for me, it says 3.16 because my initiative modifier is 3. But my base dex stat is 16, so it's 3.16.
Oh, I see. Okay, so my 0.2 is because of my hilariously high dex. Okay.
Yes, and it is hilariously high. Okay, so let me get that there. And then I have to put down the orc.
So, like, it should be mentioned that apparently Roll20 is like having a stroke around this, and it's like differently displaying these numbers for everybody.
Yeah, it does not like the initiative tracker. The initiative tracker situation is sometimes not so hot.
Better.
Yeah, it could be a little bit better. Although they've made some other good improvements, but still. Okay. All right, let's see this thing. Right, and your initiative for...
Are we not getting a battle map?
Orc is...
We're doing Theater of the Mind.
We're doing Theater of the Mind. It does not have a battle map for this, which in a way, in a narrow mine passage, probably makes some sense in a way. Let me see.
Call
that's
it
going to be...
mine.
A mine.
Except in this case, that's accurate.
That's true. They called it a mine, and they were right. All right. Okay, so we will begin then. Coriander, we will begin with you. So again, just to sort of remind everyone about the sort of scene, we're at the end of this tunnel. Otho is standing there, and you do have this other problem, which is not just the orc that's standing there, but the fact that Otho is basically standing more or less with a shovel, and he's right next to this sack of open fireworks, and there's also a lantern set upon a stone within Otho's immediate reach. I hope I'm painting a legitimate picture of the potential problems here. Otho seems freaked out of his mind, and mine. And then we have, of course, the orc themselves. So as far as sort of who is in front, the place is big enough that you could probably stand like 2 by 2. So Coriander, you could run up. You could try to stab in between. You could try to grab something. There are many options that you probably have. You just won't be able to all surround the orc because Ortho's on the other side of the orc, and you can't get around there. So you would be able to face 2 and then 2 behind. But of course you can always you can also change positions. You can do that because everyone can let the other person through. So you can always do that during the course of the turn, but you won't be able to have 4 in a row facing them.
So is the orc facing Ortho right now?
No, the orc is facing you upon having shown. I should say Otho. I'm sorry, not Ortho. Ortho was the The orc could use some ortho actually.
Orthogonal baggins.
Yes.
Great.
Exactly. So yeah, the orc is facing you.
Okay, so and the orc, is the there he is. Okay, wow. Okay, so
yes,
Coriander,
holding a spear and a scimitar at his belt.
Oh my goodness. The scimitar's at his belt?
Yes, at the moment.
Okay, and how much distance is there between between the party and Otho and I'm
10 feet to the orc, 15 feet to Otho. So is what I would say, because Otho's right behind the orc.
And is it possible to run to Otho without provoking an attack of opportunity from the orc?
Yes, once, because what you could do is basically almost like dive underneath the legs or do something cool like that, where you would get next to Otho, but once you do that, you're then, in quotes, engaged or within threat range of the orc, and then you would not be able to get away as a disengagement. I mean, you wouldn't be able to run away full speed without provoking an opportunity attack. But you can certainly go up to it and get, try to get past it, although you'll need to make a dex check to get past it, just to the other side if you wanted to do that.
Okay.
Is it, just so I put this out before we start fighting instead of after, like last time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if everybody has this. I don't know. I don't remember if I chose this or what, or if I just got it. But unobtrusiveness should allow us to move through.
Yeah, I've got unobtrusive
a space of a creature larger than us if the orc is larger than us.
Right, and the orc would be just larger than you, so unfortunately only Titch does not have this benefit. Titch is not unobtrusive, but that's all right. Titch seems to want to be maximally obtrusive here. So, yes, so the hobbits could move. Now, you would be able to move, but you're going to have limited room. There's only room for one person next to Otho on the other side of the orc, because Otho next to him has that big sack of fireworks, and well, presumably of fireworks, plus himself, and then there's the wall. So basically you have one hobbit that can fit next to him, and that's it. So just keep that in mind. You won't all be able to fit on the other side of the orc or next to Otho.
Am I misremembering? Just one last thing before we go.
Sure.
Is there an opening out of the mine visible near Otho, or
No.
are we like just embedded?
Sadly,
okay.
no. You're down in the tunnels, I'm afraid.
Cool. Does the tunnel go on beyond?
No,
where Otho
he is at literally a blockage where maybe he was going to use the. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And last thing is we don't have a natural ability to see in the dark, right?
Right, although there is a lantern here, so right now the light is okay. Like, if the lantern gets knocked over, which is possible given the limited room, or maybe tactics if you decided to do that, then that would be more of a problem.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
The orc has no such limitations, by the way. You'll be happy.
I know.
To know.
Yeah, I know that. Coriander doesn't. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And Bilbo and Balin are still outside.
Yes, talking to the guards.
Okay.
Amazing. Awesome. Cool. Yeah. All right. Here is what what I would like for Coriander to do. I think that she is okay. So actually, and one more question, and then this is the thing. In the image that you have put here, the scimitar is like strapped to his back.
Mm-hmm. It at his, I mean, yes, but de facto he can reach it and pull it forth as an action, so he'll be able to do that. I mean, I'm using that as the equivalent of his at his belt. So, yeah.
What I would like for Coriander to do.
Okay.
You can tell me whether or not this is feasible.
Okay.
Is I would like her to run past him, climb him, and take the scimitar away as she is passing him. Like, light finger the scimitar away as she is tumbling past him.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know about the climb him part, but I think you could probably...
You can jump.
Yeah, exactly. I think you could do that. So I'll say that you can do that because... I'll say that you can attempt this because of the unobtrusiveness. Mm-hmm. But I think if you're going to do, like, literally pull the scimitar from him, that would be a sleight of hand check. And it's going to be, absent any inspirations, chat, it's going to be done at disadvantage. But we, because there's exhaustion and other things. However, if there is an inspiration forthcoming, then that would counteract that effect, and you would just be doing it at a normal check at that point. Still would be a fairly not super easy DC, but it's possible, yes.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, I think that's what. Oh, thank you, Prince Justin.
Okay. And Prince Justin should have one. I don't know where the. Is Arcana? Wait a second. I had. Okay, it's online. Let me make sure. Do we have it? Do you, Prince Justin? You should have one, right? Do I?
Well, he just did the thing, so it would have disappeared, right?
No, it didn't, but it never didn't pop up at all. What I'm trying to remember is whether he may have used it earlier. Prince Justin, did you use it during Expedition? You might have used yours during Expedition, which may be why. I'm trying to remember. Because we did do the... I think you did, right? Yeah. Prince Justin inspired someone during Expedition. That's why you don't have one. Although, if you use channel points, we have the 2 channel point ones available. So you could do that. But it's okay because Effect Life's inspired anyway.
Effect Life, thank you.
But thank you, Prince Justin. Listen, your inspiration was useful in that other campaign too, so it's not like it went to waste. Okay, Effect Life is inspired. Okay, so it's an even Steven, as they say.
Even Steven, here we go. So this is a sleight of hand check. Okie doke. And yeah, that makes more sense than acrobatics, so I guess I'll do that. And here, so what happens is...
Yeah, please tell me.
Sees this orc. She's never seen this creature before. She is so tired, but she has had a nap while her Uncle Cal was off getting everyone else. So she is a little bit... She's in that zone where you're no longer like depressed by how tired you are, but you're still kind of groggy, but also you're getting fired by adrenaline because you're seeing a terrifying creature in front of you that you've never seen before.
Is this a bit of the I can do this all day vibes? Is this like a little bit in that category maybe?
I think she's more in the she's not quite there yet. She's more like in this zone of just okay, and in this kind of everything goes white, and all she is aware of is there is an object on that orc's body that should not be there.
Right.
It should not be there. Spear, she understands. Like, that it's already in the hand, it has a purpose, it's kind of singing its purpose. The scimitar is sleepy like she is, and she doesn't want it there anymore, and it doesn't want to be there as far as she's concerned. So, she just does the only thing she knows she's confident she can do. She goes, and now the dice will decide what happens. Dice and Effect Life's wonderful inspiration. Here we go. Sleight of hand, inshallah, khair inshallah. Well, that's a 17.
A 17. Okay, here's what I'll say. So you do everything that you've described. You sort of run up, kind of parkour off the wall, so to speak, to try to grab it. And you get the scimitar with the sheath. The orc is so taken aback by this action that it is kind of like just doesn't move for a moment as you literally grab the scimitar from it. And you are like sort of landing triumphantly when you feel that the scimitar's sheath has caught just on the end of his back. So what it means is that you've got the scimitar, he does not have it, but neither do you have it.
Am I dangling off it?
Basically, like, yeah. So, like, just sort of like hanging like this with your feet just like, you could put your toes down and like touch the ground type of thing. And the orc's like, rah, 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 like angrily. And the stench off of this thing is just foul, right? As you sort of dangle back and forth. You have definitely occupied him, but he's like, so yes, that's what, and Otho gives you this horrified look, by the way, as you are on the other side.
Can I just, so like that's the action. She also gets move, right?
Sure. Although your moves may be somewhat limited here. Actually,
well, exactly. Yeah. I'm kind of imagining that, like, I'm just imagining the orc like a dog chasing his own tail, trying to get at Coriander.
Yeah.
Which honestly is perfect for her purposes. The only move she would be trying to do is trying to get some purchase with her feet in order to try and actually yank it the rest of the way.
Okay.
So if like that instead of her move would be the only thing she'd be trying to do. But while she's doing that, I can't remember. Is Otho her uncle too? Is he a relation?
No, he's like distantly related.
Right, okay. Exactly. So very distant family. And a Sackville Baggins. You already know how Uncle Bilbo feels about this.
Anyway, as she's dangling, she'll say, Mr. Otho, hello, hi, this is a very dangerous situation we're all in.
Don't, be careful, child. This is mine. You got to be careful of. Don't get your. He seems to be.
Please don't set off the fireworks, Mr. Otho. Please don't do that. We'll all die.
What? But what? So he seems to be in some bizarre liminal space between wanting you to be okay, being deeply upset about the mine situation, next to the fireworks, very confused, worried about there's a lot going through Otho's mind right now. Okay, so as you're tangling off trying to pull down, that may have an effect on the orc when it comes to his turn. We will move over to Cal, who is up next. Cal, you have just seen this heroic leap followed by scimitar dangle. What would you like to do?
So is I forget how you described Otho. Is he hurt? Is he bloodied? Is he wounded?
He looks very dirty and disheveled. And tired and frightened, but does not look hurt yet. No, you don't think so.
And is the orc is brandishing a spear, right?
That's right. And trying to get something hanging off its scimitar on the back.
Has he attacked? Have I seen him attack anybody with it yet? Like as we were coming in,
with the spear?
Yeah.
No, you think you may have arrived just before the orc was going to do an attack. You may have just gotten there in time.
And when he was yelling, something like, what did he say? Like as we were coming in, and Otho.
Yeah, he was. Whatever he was yelling at Otho was sort of incoherent. It was mostly just growls. Otho was the one yelling back. It's my treasure, mine. I'll blow it to rubble before you can have it, etc., etc.
That's what Otho was saying.
That's what Otho was saying. Yep.
Okay. All right. Since he hasn't attacked yet, I'm actually worried about attacking someone who's not yet ready to actually attack us. I don't know what's going on yet, and so I am going to take out. I have my walking staff, so I'm going to come and put myself between Granny and the orc, and just say, "Stand down, put your weapon down," and see what he does.
Like reaching for the whatever's on his back.
Okay, if I can with my staff, I want to try to trip him. I don't want to attack him yet.
Okay. Let's see.
I don't know how I would do that exactly, but
you've got a staff.
Your kneecaps are mine. To quote that one voice pack from Icewind Dale, I want to say.
From Icewind Dale.
Suddenly becomes like Master Splinter and just kind of go with the staff.
Exactly. Okay.
Maybe an attack on his legs.
Yeah, I think that what we'll say is
exactly.
It's almost like a called shot here. And you're going to be using an attack on his leg. So I'm going to say though that this is a -3 unless you've done a lot of work on learning to trip people that I'm not familiar with.
No.
So -3 to this attack.
Excuse me, Greg. He's a map maker. He knows all about trips.
Take multiple disadvantage. I'm just kidding. I actually highly approve of that joke.
Roll 5 dice and take the worst one.
That's very cute, but even your joke cannot compass all of what this is about. So
this is bardic inspiration that I'm offering here. This is like 100% bardic inspiration. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Yeah. Oh no question about it. Actually, but having said that, someone could theoretically inspire you one way or the other, Cal. But otherwise, I would say it's a -3
if he holds
for
a
this
section,
attack.
I could.
What? Bardically inspire? You could inspire.
Oh, it's called something else, but it's bardic inspiration.
Oh, I see. Well, Dragon, Cal is about to trip an orc. That joke was a trip. Yes. Yes, it was. You got a leg up on your competition with this one. All right, Dragon Spear is inspired, Caloran. Very nice, very nice. Thank you. Thank you,
Okay,
Dragon Spear, one of our staff here, if you will. Okay.
Oh,
I was fairly proud of that one.
I learned from watching you.
I know. It's true.
These legs are really pulling the carpet from out under me.
Oh. Oh, you guys. Oh.
Not putting this show on a good footing.
Like when I'm clicking on the... I'm clicking on my item. That doesn't work. Hold on. I think I have a +5 with my walking staff, but like when I can't click on it to roll for some odd reason.
Well, you can just manually roll it then at the.
It'd be 2, right? Because +5 -2 or -3, so 2 would be the total that you're adding.
Yeah. All right. So I'll just roll a d20 separately, I guess.
But
so I'll roll 2, right?
Is it not
second one?
No, you're not rolling 2. You're not rolling this at advantage.
Didn't I have advantage?
I don't. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. What am I saying? Of course you did. That's right. You rolled it at advantage.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
Wow,
baby,
nice.
Let's go.
Okay, so there's good news and bad news. The good news is that you 100% do the job. You trip him, and not only do you trip him, but you're actually going to do a little bit of damage. I would like you to roll a 1d4. That's going to be the bludgeoning damage he's going to take when he falls on his back suddenly.
Okay.
Yes,
Wow.
Coriander has seen the problem with this plan.
Can I have a dex saving throw?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a shot at that.
Okay.
So
roll for this.
3 hit points of bludgeoning damage, very nice. But as you hit, you hear a muffled, which may be the sound of Coriander. So Coriander, I'm going to need now. You actually have a choice to make. If you try to hold on to the sword in this scenario, you are 100% going to get fallen on. So you would need to let go, and then you can make a dex save here to try to like bail out before the back hits you. So it's up to you either way. Also, you're not going to take like 30 points of damage from being crushed by this orc, but you will take some. I mean, he's falling on you with his shield, his weapon, like himself. So.
I'm wondering if there's a compromise I can make, which is, can she have given, like, as she's falling, given the sword a last tug and not have it, but have tugged it out of the sheath as she rolls away?
I tell you what, I'll let you make that a third option to pull it out of the sheath, and then make your attempt to make your saving throw. But in that event, you're going to do it at -3. So if you want to do the tug of the sword, meaning he doesn't have the sword, it's on the ground, he's on his back, you can do that. So your choices are let it go, make a saving throw to avoid being hurt, hold on to it and take whatever damage you get, or do your modified plan, which is to not hold on but get it out of the sheath and then do the saving throw at -3.
Yep, I think that's what I want modified.
Okay.
She's very object oriented in terms of, she's more object
yeah, no, I get it.
Than she is safeguarding. So, okay, here we go. So saving throw at -3, and that is a dex. Here we go. Oh dear. Oh no. Eek. Oh well.
Well, unfortunately.
Squish.
Yep, squish. Okay.
That would be, for those of you at home, that would be a 6.
Yeah, thanks, Trent. You are going to take 5 points of damage as this orc plus weapons falls on you. Now, I'm going to give you the good news and the bad news. So the good news is that the sword is now, you don't have it, as you said, but it is clear of the sheath. It is underneath both you and the orc. The orc, however, is on top of you. Until the orc gets off of you, you are going to be restrained beneath it. But presumably, because you are definitely not strong enough to wiggle out. However, presumably the orc is not just going to sit there, so you would, like one of my cats with its belly up. So presumably it's going to be like, all right, I'm going to stand up now. So when that happens, it probably won't matter, because I can tell you the orc's not going to want to stay there. But I'm just letting you know for the meantime.
Sure.
So you do hear this kind of like, Cal, as the orc falls on your
No,
niece.
I'm sorry, that's not what you hear. What you hear is,
That's much better. Thank you for a far more convincing high-pitched squeak.
Yeah, Cal says, Titch, rub its belly, quick.
The tip of Cal's spear.
Oh man. Okay. So you technically do have a move still, Cal. You could run up and tickle its belly if you want.
Coriander, tickle it from underneath.
Like, you can't reach around it though. Like, hobbit arms. That's.
Am I done? Is my turn done?
No, you have a move if you wish. Still.
Well, all right. Well, I'm just gonna approach him, staff at the ready. I'm assuming I can't pull him off of Coriander.
Not this turn, and it's going to expose you.
I'm
big
just gonna
time
come
to
close
attack.
and keep my eye on him. Be at the ready.
Can you kick the sword away?
It's beneath you. It's actually beneath you and him.
Okay,
So you're both lying on it. Okay. Granny, this is what's up. Your granddaughter is currently underneath an orc. So yes.
Oh, good thing I have another granddaughter. This is fine.
Wow, I have a spare granddaughter. Wow, unbelievable.
Yes, she does. Laura Hope Singer, who
keeps
was
it in the pantry just in case.
She is like from one of the Choose Your Own Adventure book live streams. That's your cousin, by the way.
Wow, Coriander instantly hates her and has a rivalry with her forever. Laura.
I bet she never fell underneath an orc.
She might have. I don't remember.
Oh boy, dark.
But yeah, Granny is like, oh dearie, and basically drops her walking stick and runs up to runs as fast as old grannies run towards Coriander and tries to pull her out from under the orc.
Okay, now you realize, Granny,
I would like to pull her out.
You may be exposing yourself to attack. You realize in doing that, yes?
Isn't he prone?
He's prone on his back, but he's not incapacitated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So indeed, and this also, in case anyone needed to hate this orc more, attacking a granny. How could any orc do something like that?
Please, that's easy. We all do that.
What?
Wow.
I'm going to roll that attack right now. Okay, so the orc.
Trendon gets a shadow point for that, not his
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously?
5 shadow points. No,
I was gonna say 5.
Yeah, 5 shadow points. Okay.
Not the only granny I've attacked.
So the orc is going to attempt to stab with the spear, but an 8 I don't think is going to get the job done, Granny. Which means now you're down, and you see Coriander. Kind of like, I don't know what Coriander is doing, except I don't know whether Coriander is exhausted, happy, adrenaline pumped, or what.
Before I pull her... No, go on, sorry.
Oh no, I mean, I think she's just trying to keep bones from breaking. I think
Probably.
she's got her core engaged and is like, ah!
Her core engaged.
She's
She's
very much like Hoggle stuck under Ludo in the labyrinth.
My God, that's funny.
Actually,
reference.
before Granny starts tugging, she is gonna use her Rhymes of War ability, and so while she is pulling on Coriander, she is reciting a little rhyme. I never saw a purple cow. Wait.
I can't wait for this.
I never saw a purple cow. I never hoped to see one, but I can tell you anyhow, I'd rather see than be one. And starts pulling with all her might as she gives herself bardic inspiration. A lore die is what it's called here, which is a D6, which I get to add to my roll of that.
All right, so we're going to be making a strength roll here. You're going to be making a strength roll to try to pull Coriander free from the orc.
Without dislocating her arm.
And
exactly.
That is plus a D6.
Nice.
Oh, very
so
nice.
This
is
17.
Nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
17 total. So I want to remind everybody, you know those things out of Game in a Minute where like the mother sees the child, like a car hits it, and this feat of strength where they lift the Volkswagen like off the child and all that. So
pull the baby out.
Yeah. Like, so Coriander, Coriander, you see from your perspective as Granny's just like says this thing about purple cow and then herp, and like lifts the orc, and the orc with the most stunned expression, like the last 10 seconds of the orc's life have been an interesting experience, pulled up. And then you are indeed able to pull Coriander free. And then I have this image of you like a carpet, like pull it up and then do this and then just like drop the orc back down. Because you probably won't be able to do anything else, but you are able to do that. And I will also let you, if you wish, because the orc is so startled by this action, pull Coriander back 5 feet. So like you and her back. You can do that if you wish.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if I, since he already used his reaction to attack me, right?
That's right. So you can definitely pull back.
I can get away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I still have an item interaction, right? So I get back to where my staff was and pick it back up.
Okay, you can do that.
That's my turn.
And Coriander's like just on the ground.
Well, since the I don't know, I'm again, from her perspective, she's still like all about that sword. Can she grab it as she's
not on the way out?
Stuck?
No, not on the way out. It's still below the orc.
The elusive scimitar.
Yeah. But it's not held by either party at the moment. It is.
You were too busy gagging to think about it.
It's just like, yeah, that's true. The stench.
Oh yeah, we totally have him gagged.
Wow.
Clever.
when Granny pulls Coriander just like instinctively goes and like just hugs her really tight, and she's like banged up and bruised and stuff. She's probably got like bruised ribs, and is like, he smells really bad.
So the orc goes, and the orc kind of like looking vaguely like a decrepit turtle, but rolls back onto its sort of stands up with the spear, and then what I'm going to say here is, Titch, since you were charging from the beginning, I'm going to the orc is clearly readying for your approach, and I'm assuming, but correct me if I'm wrong, Titch is not going to be like psych and then faint out and like, sort of roll beneath or anything like that. So I'm just letting you know that the attack is going to hit you, or attempt to be made upon you just before you arrive to attack the orc. Although I am very tempted to suggest that you do the greatest combat maneuver ever shown on film screen, which is the end of The Last of the Mohicans, where the father rolls underneath the tomahawk slash and then hits him in the back. The greatest maneuver of all time, I think. Anyway, pretty wild. So, but you're not going to do that. So it waits, and so it's not going to move. It's already taken its move. It's waiting for you. So when you arrive, it's going to attempt to hit you with its spear. And it does so with 2 hands, and it is going to completely critically miss you, probably because it's too busy wondering why Granny has just pulled what happened with the scimitar. So Titch,
People
you
are
are
jumping on me, they're tripping me,
rolling
me
yep.
over.
Literally rolled a 1. All right, so you're up, Titch. It is available to be attacked.
Right back at you with a 2-handed spear.
Yeah. Spear versus spear. Yeah, we haven't had a spear battle, have we?
Spear.
Spear versus spear. Oh no. Both of you are like, huh! Like, just like miss each other with the spears.
No!
Because Titch is trying not to hit any of his friends who are all over his thing.
So his spear is like navigating through the...
Well, that's what I said. He's like...
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, sadly that is a miss.
These anime sound effects now, like...
Yeah, exactly.
The air and missing.
Light spear is what we need. So both the orc and Titch miss each other. And let's see, who am I going to have make this check? Not Coriander, not Granny. I'm going to have Titch and Cal both make perception checks for me, please. Titch, I want you to do it at -2. You're blocked a little bit. Okay.
Passable.
The power of an 11. Power of an 8. Or if, yeah. Okay. never mind. Everything's just fine. Top of the round. And that's going to bring us...
Wait. Titch isn't quite done yet.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Go ahead.
He's going to position himself basically between the orc and Otho, if he can.
Can't do that without somehow rotating around behind him. You can maneuver to try to do that maybe in the next round, Titch, but with your charging at him, you don't have the Hobbit ability, so you'd have to like literally figure out how to like work around him, to the back. So
then how about this? How about since Granny and what's his name, Coriander, moved
his
Titch is back to not being able to tell what gender Coriander is. Since they moved away, Titch will interpose himself between them.
Oh, totally, you can do that. Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, so top of the round, Coriander, you are having hugged Granny. What would you like to do?
Coriander is going to look to see what is Otho doing right now.
Okay, since you're asking this on your turn, I will let you make a perception check. This won't be an action, so you can take this as like a bonus action, let's say.
Okay. But I'm still doing it at disadvantage.
Yeah, sadly. You're tired.
Only we had some hagweed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, not hagweed.
Suddenly busting through is like...
the other one. Reed Mace.
Reed Mace. That was it.
Cattails.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, but...
I mean...
no, disadvantage. No, you see only the welcoming embrace of your grandmother who saved you. Sorry, Coriander.
That's the best thing she could be seeing right now.
I mean, yeah, that'd be worse.
Granny smells so much better.
It's just
of lavender
and smoke.
Fair enough, I guess. It's just that like it's such. I truly hate the mechanics of this game sometimes because it's not that it's like frustrating to what I want to do as a player. It's that it's frustrating in like messing with my sense of like just narrative common sense. She, like, the whole threat is that Otho's got a bunch of fireworks. She's gonna look to see what's going on with that.
Well, right.
To see if that's what she wants to do. If she can't see that when she's literally, like,
no, it's fair.
There,
so but this is what I would say about that. So that's fair. And to be clear, you can see Otho and the bag of fireworks still. It's not like they've become blotted out and you've gone blind and can't see them. But the issue is whether you can see what Otho may or may not be intending based upon his movement, and that is too subtle given the fact that you've got a bunch of, so you've got spear battle going in front of you, et cetera, et cetera. That's why. So,
like all of this is happening in like 6 seconds.
6 seconds, yeah.
Fair enough.
In that case, all right. I'm just gonna put myself in her head. Just like looked over there. She did shout a beseeching request to Otho to not.
She absolutely
set off the fireworks.
Yep.
So, in this case, it's like Titch is in danger. She's gonna crouch down, find a rock, and using her sling, try to sneak attack this guy. Due to A, being behind Granny, and B, she has people within 5 feet and stuff. So
that's true.
So let's try to sneak attack. Is this her first sneak attack? I think it might.
I feel like she may have done one other, maybe, but
against
with the trolls, she like tripped
them. Right. Yep.
So I think this might be her. I'm not sure. Anyways. Let's see.
It's the first time she's tried it against an orc and a mine. I think we can say that for sure.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so the attack must use a finesse or ranged weapon. Blah blah blah. Doing that. So do I use the sling first and then click sneak attack, or do I click sneak attack?
You have to hit in order for the sneak attack to apply.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay. All right, here we go then. So sling-a-ling.
King.
Oh wait. Why did it not click? It's not. Oh no! Is this the same problem
Cal
is having?
Interesting. I don't know.
There's a little info thing. Ah, okay, I see. It's supposed to have an attack. There we go. Which I've now clicked. What does that do? Does that...
Are you clicking on sling under item name or?
I was. Oh.
Okay.
No, you want
above that in the.
Oh,
attack.
right there it is.
That's what
okay,
I was doing earlier by accident.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Here we go.
Okay.
Much better.
Wow, that's what I'm talking about. So a 21 will absolutely hit.
Woohoo! All right, and then let us sneak that attack.
Sneak that attack.
Oops.
You will probably have to roll damage first.
Oh, okay. For the sling? Oh, sorry. Okay, so... Wait, so do I just click sling for the damage?
Yep.
Okay. Wait.
Well, that's not right.
That doesn't...
The orc is like,
what does it mean?
that's a new one. Rolling 0 equals 0?
What? 0 plus 0? That's so strange.
I don't even know what to say about that.
I think in quantum mechanics that means the orc is dead.
It's become a void. You're just sucked into the black hole of the orc. I don't think that's what it means. It's a tie. Yeah, very funny, Dragon.
Does anyone know what the sling damage is, and I could just roll it manually?
Yeah, I can look it up.
Should be. I'm guessing it's 1d4 plus dex. But let me see.
Okay.
All right, Sling.
Which book are you holding right now?
Yes, 1d4.
1d4 plus
Plus
dex.
your
Because it's
plus
not
your
in
dex.
the core rule books for this game. It's
Yeah,
in the
we talked
D&D
about
core
that.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Oh,
We did talk about that. I think I forget what I ruled on this. I think I said for just go ahead and do it because I didn't like their explanation. I think their explanation was basically like there are no slings in the way. I'm like, well, I mean,
you know what? I
Well,
just
and
realized...
also that there's later, basically the explanation was that there are no slings mentioned anywhere in the books, and also that there is later on a Hobbit feat, I forgot what feats were called in this game, that basically turns you into a sharpshooter by just throwing pebbles.
Right.
Basically rendering slings kind of useless against that, and it like takes away from that feat. That was the idea also, but like also you said it doesn't matter, you get a
yeah,
sling, so just
I'm
regular
like
sling.
I don't yeah, I understand what they mean, but so just go ahead and do the damage. It's fine.
Okay, so
but it shouldn't be 0 plus 0. I don't know what that means.
No.
1d4
and
plus
it's
dex.
funny because when I now that I've looked at the in the attack line where it says like sling, attack +2, etc., it says damage type 0, but when I click open to that, that's not what it says.
Oops, ignore that. I misclicked something.
Okay, sorry. And there it says that this doesn't seem right for a sling either. It says like damage is 1d6 plus strength, which
No,
no,
definitely not.
that doesn't make any sense at all. So anyway, I'm going to ignore it for now. We'll fix it later. For now, it is
We'll fix it in post. Just 1d4 plus the dex.
plus dex. So 1d4. Well, that sucks. But plus, her dex modifier is 5.
It's 6 billion. Okay.
So that should be 6, but I haven't rolled the sneak attack. I'm really hoping I can just click sneak attack.
Yeah, could be.
Nope, I can't do it.
That's 1d6
It's 1d6. Well, so let's just roll
for a second level character.
Oh no.
Well, that's 7 points of
Still
damage.
though, that's yeah.
Not bad.
So you just poosh in the head.
You rolled a d4, not a d6.
Oh!
What do you mean?
No, I rolled
No,
the
roll-
for the sling.
The second one
and
was
the-
rolling d6.
Oh, wait a
I
minute.
see it on here.
They're
Oh, I
they were
had
just
my
two
thing
ones.
had
It's scrolled up.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So good stuff,
Kinda
Coriander. Are you
nice
going?
today, huh?
Are you going to move anywhere, or are you going to
Yes.
stay? Yes.
She's gonna wait. No, the scimitar is still like where the creature is.
Correct.
Like,
It's below its feet. Yeah.
she
Also,
can't, like,
we are at the top of the turn of the round, right? So the dude got his reaction back.
That's true. He does have his reaction back. Yeah.
So she can't like dart in to grab it without.
I would
provoking.
say well, Yeah, because you'd have to. Yeah, I would say because it's not just on his back. I'd say it probably would provoke. He's literally standing with the spear, like
Okay, in that case, she's gonna dart from behind Granny towards Otho.
Okay, won't be able to get all the way there though, presumably, or do you want to stand? Do you want to try to duck underneath the orc and like stand next to Otho? Be hard to get away the other way, like just so you know.
She
like
wants to get to Otho, like she wants to book it to Otho.
Okay. I think given what we talked about with the was it unobtrusive was the name of this, that you'll be able to get through to Otho, who looks quite shocked and surprised and as usual. And now that you're actually next to him, Coriander, you can see that he has sidled his way substantially towards the sack of fireworks. Yeah.
Otho, what are you doing?
He seems to be like almost, not, I wouldn't say entranced, but like very focused, maybe might be the way to describe it. With his eyes fixed on the back of the orc too. Okay. Cal, you are up next. What would you like to do? And Granny is on deck.
Ship?
So
deck of a ship.
I did see, like, he had legitimately tried to attack Titch, right?
Yes. They both missed each other, but yes.
Yeah, I know. All right, so I am going to try to smack him with my staff at this point.
Okay.
And since
you're standing,
it's funny that we haven't
foot to foot with Titch.
I haven't actually attacked with anything, I don't think, up to this point, like weapon-wise.
Yeah.
So I had to add that. I was clicking on the item name earlier. So staff should be strength, right?
Yes, because you're using... Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So 13.
13 is not going to hit, unfortunately. He has this sort of heavy hide armor that he's using, so he does manage to ward off your attack with his shield. Okay. And kind of growls at you and then coughs decrepitly. Are you moving anywhere, Cal?
Yes.
I'm still just making sure I'm between him and Granny is my main concern right now.
Okay, I would say that is still the case. Speaking of Granny, what'd you like to do?
Did the guy? Oh wait, I can just stand behind Coriander with. Oh wait, no, a spear has like 10-foot range, right?
Right, spear has range. Plus, also, you're standing right now behind Cal. Coriander is on the other side of the orc next to Otho now, and
yeah, but like the idea was like to just go stand behind Coriander to heal Coriander, but like he would still have reach, so I can't get away without provoking an attack of opportunity.
That's right.
Sorry.
And I'm going to heal. Where did you go? Like Coriander's
in fairness, that is so perfectly in character. It's just like flashback to Granny trying to put a band-aid on Coriander after she's fallen out of a tree, and she's already climbing the tree again.
That's funny.
Also, I'm sorry, while this is going on, I just need to explain. I just left because Stu is napping. The doorbell rang multiple times, and it was two quite small children who were saying trick or treat. And I was like,
they're a little early. Like,
what's going on? And they were like,
practicing.
I couldn't.
Well, you see, like Canadian Thanksgiving is also
Canadian Halloween is
so
like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they weren't dressed up. I was like, you're not even dressed up, and they're like, oh no, I'm dressed as a public school kid. I don't know what was going on. They seemed so innocent, and yet I was very confused. I was like, is someone robbing my house right now? I don't get it. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, that was weird. See, if you were a decrepit orc now, this wouldn't have been a problem.
So like the thing is, the leech craft doesn't say that I have to be in reach, but I'm assuming I have to be in reach, like a touch.
I would think so.
Range.
You throw the leech.
Well, like no. It's just called leechcraft. You don't have to use leeches. Like the way I was gonna do is like with like special herbal candies. So I could just toss that, but like that would
leech flavored candy.
But yeah, no. In that case, how far away is Otho from Granny?
So Granny would be about, let's see, behind them. So Granny would be about 7.5 feet from the orc, which means about 12 feet from Otho and Coriander, I would say.
Oh, very good. Then I would like to...
With people in between her and, I mean, like, if you're going to try to get something to Coriander, you do have an orc in front of you and also a Titch in front of you.
I can, like, run in an arch, right?
You could do what?
Arc? You
can shift around so that she doesn't leave his area of influence, but she can move.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. I'm thinking about how you're going to fit. Remember that you have...
Right, we had a tunnel.
Right. That's the problem. I'm not worried about like attacks of opportunity.
I'm
worried about physics of opportunity.
I misty step behind him.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
personal kiss.
What else? In a pipe, just smoke like you're Batman, just like you show up at the other side.
Just toss candy. So
yeah.
Like,
boop.
No, okay. In that
he
case,
grabs it, eats it himself. Like, oh damn it! Like,
has anybody in the party managed to spot what Otho is doing right now, or?
Coriander has now, but is not in a position to go. Wait, everybody, be careful because, and doesn't even totally know what is happening other than he's
moving
towards.
Since Granny was looking to get to Otho anyway, she's checking what he's doing.
Okay, are you as your action? Are you going to attempt to make your way and then perceive?
No, like she stays where she is, but like tries to check the.
Okay, because Cal is attempting to block you off. Titch is attempting to block all of you off. Everyone is attempting to protect everyone from everything.
She can probably take a step to the side and like.
Yes, I will allow you to make a perception check for this. Yes, and because you're doing it as your action, I won't make you do it at disadvantage. You'll just do it as a straight perception.
I love not getting disadvantage.
I can't remember what it's like.
Sometime in the distant past before you retired. Okay. So yes, you can now see Coriander having arrived on the other side, but you can see that Otho is basically making his way towards the sack slowly and is also reaching his hand out for the lantern, which has been sitting on top of a rock, kind of illuminating this. So he's kind of like this and this. He looks slightly... I don't know how to describe this. I don't want to overstate this. Not deranged as in like he's lost it, but he looks like almost feverish, like I'm going to show them, type of thing. Like something does not seem right with him. Also, he's probably drunk, which doesn't help.
Stumps her walking stick on the ground. Young boy, don't you dare.
Okay.
I will tell your parents about it, and I tell you Longo and Camelia?
I think it's Camelia.
Camelia. Yeah, Longo and Camelia will not stand for this.
He's just
trying to intimidate.
Don't mention my parents. So yells that the orc takes a moment to just kind of like flick, like his head, like just sort of look quickly.
What are you looking at?
Okay, Granny having done that, Granny, do you want to shift, like move anywhere specifically? Again, you can't move behind it now because there's no room on the other side, but do you want to like shift, like make sure that you're behind Cal, who is clearly trying to block you from...
Oh, yeah.
Block the orc from you. Okay. So once you do that, then the orc veteran has to decide. Let's see. Orc veteran could go back towards Otho, forward towards Titch the spear wielder, back towards Coriander, forward towards Cal. It's a target-rich environment. I think he's going to go for the most dangerous, what he sees as the potentially most dangerous threat, which is the person in front of him with the shield and the spear. So he is going to attempt to...
Go right foot green.
Yes, very bad.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because he would know that Granny would be the most dangerous person in this room.
Yeah, no, true. I mean, like, obviously, if he had a real understanding of the limitations of his, his vision in this situation, I mean, that's... I totally agree. Okay. Oh, but apparently had his Wheaties today. 22 to hit Titch. Okay. He is using 2 hands on this. So, as we discussed previously, 8 points of piercing damage as you feel the spear embed and the orc growls at you. And then is, let me see. And then having done that, so having stabbed you, is going to step back 5 feet so that he's now right in front of the sack of fireworks.
What? What?
Now, that's not blocking Coriander or anyone from that angle, or Otho for that matter. But it does mean that you've got Coriander, Otho, bag. He's reaching for the lantern. The orc is right next to the lantern and right in front of the bag, and about 5 feet away from Titch. And of course, Titch, you can step forward to engage him again. And speaking of that, it's your turn.
Did he disengage?
He disengaged. That was his 5-foot movement to disengage. He attacked first and then disengaged.
Okay. Then, yeah, just following and attacking.
Okay. Actually, wait a minute. 15?
Mm-hmm.
Not enough.
Ah!
Not enough. Barely misses. He manages to ward it off with the spear and lot closer though. And you moved up in front to engage him, so I assume you're staying right there. We have a nice little cluster right there of stuff. Okay. So Coriander, that's going to bring us to you. Now you can smell the stench of the orc, which is now not too far from you, a couple feet from you basically. And you can see Otho kind of like reaching for the lantern on the little pile of stones and reaching for the sack.
How big is the sack?
It's pretty sizable. It's probably your size, actually.
So she probably couldn't dart in and grab it and run with it.
I mean, she could grab it and do something with it. I don't think she could run with it, no.
Could she? Okay. She's not very strong, is the thing. So
Right.
I think what she's going to actually do is grab the lantern and dart away with it.
Okay, that seems reasonable. Question. You are going to, depending on where you dart, you can unobtrusively, as we discussed, go underneath the orc again and grab the lantern, basically. If you dart away from there, though, you will provoke an attack of opportunity unless you just disengage from him 5 feet on the other side, which you could do.
Now that the orc has moved, where's that scimitar at?
Good, there you go.
Oh, scimitar is still on the ground, right where you took it out, not underneath his feet. It's in front of him, though.
Well, what I would like for her to do is grab the lantern, grab the scimitar, dart between his legs, and get out of his range.
Lantern, scimitar, dart between his legs. That's a lot going on in one turn. I will say you can do that if you were able to make a dexterity check to cover all.
Okay.
And I'll even take acrobatics on this.
Okay. I will do acrobatics. I don't want to be greedy with inspirations,
like
but
she
if
does
anyone's...
some but not all of those things.
We'll see. Potentially.
All right.
I will inspire.
Tren has inspired Coriander.
There is the alternate fallback that I think would be fun to do, but probably terrible for our actual goals, is trying to set fire to the orc with the lantern. But that's
amazing, but probably dangerous.
Probably quite bad.
Never mind those extra 2 sessions.
In order to do that, she would actually be breaking the lantern, which I actually don't. I was just imagining she's darting under this probably a horrifying dirty loincloth. There's
it's pretty
oils
bad.
for days, and that just basically an ambulatory torch is what the orc is. But we're gonna do this. Okay, inshallah. Here we go.
It's called ambulatory, is what it's called.
Okay, so we're doing an acrobatics check. We're
Come
doing
on, baby,
it
like my orc.
inspiration, and we're gonna see what happens. Please, could we get a high roll? High roll. Well, that is a 17.
Well, with inspiration.
Yeah, but I was at...
Oh, because you were negative. Never mind. I take it back. Right.
Which is the only reason I did it.
That's right. Yeah. Because otherwise, that's right.
I mean, in this case, it doesn't matter. You would have gotten a 17 regardless. But
right.
Yeah.
So what I would say with this is that so yes, I think that you're able to scramble, grab the lantern, grab the scimitar, and I think you're able to get at least, let's say, 5 feet away on the other side. Now, the Otho is, at the moment, the sort of lantern is kind of waving, like frantically, but it is not broken yet, which means I would assume the light is still there. Otho is sort of like screams something incoherent about, my mine and keep it safe and, my precious. No, I'm just kidding. And says something about that. The orc just sort of like growls and, roars angrily to the extent that its decrepit form can do so. But I would say that you now have this scimitar. Now, you're not holding it. I mean, like, you're not, this is not a weapon you've, like, got experience with, Coriander, right? So you're just kind of like...
No. She's
like,
not wielding the scimitar. She's kind of dragging it on the ground, like it's
making sparks underneath the sack.
I'll allow that as the DM's
No, I wouldn't do that.
But yeah.
Okay.
The orc is like, not my favorite sword. You're blunting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, actually, I put this in the chat, but my headcanon for why she wasn't able to pull it out in the first place is that the orc.
He's not the true king of England.
Takes it well, fair enough, but also the orc doesn't take good care of his weapons.
Right.
The poor thing is probably notched for days and was probably put into that sheath dirty.
Yep. Public service announcement for any kids in chat: make sure you always take care of your scimitars. Okay.
Take care of your scimitars.
It's really important.
You gotta wipe it down before you sheath it. You gotta keep it oiled. You gotta keep it honed. And anyway, so I think she's entirely justified in having wanted to liberate this object from...
Absolutely. Now, Coriander, one bit of warning. You will not be in a position to defend yourself very well under current circumstances, so you're going to have to decide quickly what you want to do with these things. If you want to drop them or, do something with them. But if you're holding a lantern and a scimitar, neither of which are, it's just not suited for combat purposes. So just be aware of that. But in the meantime, good work. Okay, so Cal, you are up next. Coriander is now standing behind you or next to you with a... actually behind you because of the room, with a lantern and a scimitar. And what would you like to do? You are, remember, side by side next to Titch. Actually, Titch, I think, is a couple feet in front of you, having strode forward to engage the orc. So you're right behind, and you can move up to engage or do something else. Otho looks like frantic, nervous breakdown frantic.
Yeah. So I think I don't want to pay attention to the orc right at the moment. I think I want to tackle Otho.
Okay. You can do that.
I think so. He's like at the moment he's looking crazed, but he's like still grabbing for the. Has he reached the lantern or whatever?
He can't now because the lantern has been taken. So right now he's just like, you don't know what he's gonna do. That just happened a few seconds ago. So he's just like. Yeah. Like you don't know what burst into flames. You're not 100% sure. All right, if you want to do this to take him down, what I would say is basically this is going to be, this would basically be like a grapple. So what I would
versus strength or something.
Yeah, that's right. Basically, so first of all, no more than one size larger than you, so that's fine. And then yes, actually it'll be either a strength check or a dexterity check, and the target chooses the ability to use. So let me think about that. I think Otho is still a hobbit. I think he's going to probably use dex. So I think it would be, if you have acrobatics, that's the check you would make. If not, then it would just be a straight dex check, and he would try to counter with a dex check, and it's an opposed roll. If he gets a higher roll, then he resists the grapple. Otherwise, you make it happen.
Okay. I don't have acrobatics, so just straight dex, I guess.
Okay.
And yeah. So I would just roll.
Yes, and I'm going to do the same on my end, although you won't be able to see it.
All right. Very average.
He also rolled pretty average, but slightly less averagely. So you sort of like you jump out of his
worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, fight ever.
Yeah. I was reminded of my two cats like to play wrestle, so they do things where they'll just sometimes be like, whirl, and then like orange leaps on smoke or smoke leaps on orange color, right? And just sort of roll around. But at times, like for all of their like grace, they are still kittens still, so it's not quite as, you know. So, yeah, you try to, like, reach, and he sort of, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, just sort of, like, says, what are you doing multiple times. And you can see the sweat just sort of pouring down his face as you're this close, Cal.
Well, yeah, okay, so if I can, I'm pulling him to the ground and just saying, stop it, calm down, Otho.
Okay, so I think you can say that. I don't think you're able to pull him into the ground yet, but you can be like, try, like, you know, stop, you know, and we'll see what the effect of that's going to be.
What did my grapple do?
It didn't. He rolled less averagely than you did. Like, he slightly beat you, is what I'm saying. You rolled a 10 total. He rolled a total of an 11. Okay. So, unfortunately, he was able to counteract your grapple. Otherwise, I would have described it differently. So, yeah, sadly, not able to pull him to the ground. But you can be still telling him if you want, like, hey, you know, what are you doing?
I'm still trying to get in his way, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that. And Granny, that's going to be your turn next. What would you like to do? You are still behind Cal, who's trying to tackle Otho. You're near Coriander, who has the scimitar and the lantern. And the orc, which has been hurt, is still facing off with Titch.
Right. Okay, in that case, Granny readies her walking stick and tries to shoot a home run on this orc.
Okay.
Wait, did you just say shoot a home run?
I know sports.
Okay.
Shoot a home run. That's how it works in Blaseball, right? Like,
I was imagining, like, when you said shoot, I was like, she's going to use the staff as a hockey stick and, like, shoot a rock at him. But then you said home run, and then like, so are you going to take a rock and throw it and hit a rock at him? But
no. The orc is the ball.
The orc is the ball.
The orc
is the
ball.
Okay, so you're kind of playing t-ball with the orc.
I have never heard of that, but sure.
It is where the ball gets put on a tee for the little kids to hit the ball off of the tee, as opposed to pitching the ball towards them.
Yeah, aiming at his shins.
Okay, aiming for the shins. The weak area having already been tripped by Cal. Attack the shins.
Oh wait, is he still on the floor? No, he's
no, he's standing.
Okay, so I can't hit his head. Oh well. Oh wait, should I give myself inspiration? No. Wait, I'm going to use with sound. Does the 14 hit?
No, 14 is not enough. I am sorry to say.
Oh, fiddlesticks!
So, Granny, you're moving anywhere? Or are you staying where you are?
I guess I'm moving back behind Cal.
Okay. Yeah, because you can exchange places there. All right. So the orc is going to attempt to attack Titch again and then follow it up with something, but is going to attempt to spear Titch and is going to roll a... This guy has been, again, 21?
Jeez! No, I don't like it!
Oh, he is of legal drinking age in the US?
That's right. 5 points of piercing damage, but then is going to try to basically going to try to push past you and bolt down the hallway. Now, what this means, Titch, because clearly I think essentially the orc looks like it's not liking its odds. So as it pushes past you, Titch, you will be able to get an attack of opportunity on it. And theoretically, Cal and Granny would both be able to get attacks of opportunity on it as well. Actually, probably not Cal, because Cal... Well, no, Cal can. That's fine, because you didn't actually grapple Otho, so technically you're still there. So
I failed in my grapple.
Yeah.
But is the orc trying to move out of the tunnel?
The orc is trying to move away from the... Yeah, basically trying to move from the end of the tunnel where you all are, is trying to run down the tunnel out of where you are.
Right. I just thought Coriander was the one farthest away. Because she like grabbed stuff and moved away from Otho. Yeah,
that's true. So we go. Well, but the thing is, you can't get an attack of opportunity, Coriander, because what you're holding, you got a lantern and a scimitar in your hands. That's the problem with that. Unless you want to try to swing and hit him with a lantern, which may have other problems. But you know,
sure. She could stick out a leg and trip him, maybe.
Maybe. Let's see if the others hit first before we make that decision. This is assuming they all want to, but I'm guessing Titch, Granny, and Cal would all like to take shots. So go ahead, Titch, you first.
More of the same.
Spare. Oh, 13. Sadly, no. Is not going to get it done. And this is, again, your turn hasn't come up yet, Cal. Titch.
That was my reaction.
Yeah. Okay, Cal with the 16. That is going to hit. Go ahead and roll your damage on that. 4, okay. Yep, he stumbles forward as you smack him in the back of the legs. Granny, what about you?
Oh, yeah, of course.
That was a oh no, it would be a strength bonus, right? You don't get a proficiency bonus on damage, right?
Right.
Proficiency would be on 2 hit in the first place, but okay, Granny, sadly no. Whoops. Wide right. That means, so now the orc looks very hurt, and that does leave us now. Coriander, you have a couple of choices here as it's running past you into the tunnel. You can let it go. You could try to attack it. You don't have nearly enough time to drop things and like grab weapons and whatever. So you could try to swing a scimitar. You are going to be doing so at disadvantage because this is not balanced for you. And
disadvantage anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's true, I guess. No, because no. Why?
What would it say?
Not on an attack roll.
Oh, okay. Right. Thank you.
So this, but would be getting disadvantage in this case because of the scimitar being not badly balanced. You could also try to hit it with the lantern. And now if you hit it with a lantern successfully, you will break the lantern for whatever that does. So you have to think about the implications of that, or you could let it go. So let it go, swing the scimitar disadvantage, swing the lantern to hit it, but consequences.
Wait, Granny also had a lantern, or is that the lantern that Granny brought?
Yeah, that was my next question.
The lantern, I was assuming, Granny, was at your belt, because otherwise we'd have other things to think about if you're using your walking stick to try to deal with them.
Yeah, let's just say she put it down when she noticed the orc, put it down on the side of the tunnel. Is that okay? Because I completely forgot that she had the lantern.
If you want to, okay, but here's the thing. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that that's fine, but you're not going to, okay, you would still have gotten the attack of opportunity you just missed, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's not so much the lantern going out that's the problem, it's the fire bad that's the issue, yes, exactly.
Yeah. So the,
And I'm going to need you to decide this on your own for this one, Coriander, because you won't have a lot of time to consult with others.
Yeah.
You could ask me, that's fine, but...
Yeah. It's, what I was wondering was actually, if she, so this guy's booking it and looks quite hurt, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hasn't actually spoken any words in common that she can understand.
That's correct. Just a bunch of growls in probably Orcish, maybe, or something.
Okay. Right. Okay. And we just don't know where it's gonna go though. I feel like the thing that she would be most likely to do is actually try to trip him, but she's also quite small, so I'm sort of wondering if her means of tripping him could be sort of curling into a ball in front of him, essentially, to trip him up.
That's reasonable. You might take some damage accidentally as he runs over you. But you could try to do that.
It's either because I do quite like the idea of her swinging a scimitar. I just think she's unlikely to.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
Yeah, that's not what she thinks the sword is for.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So I think what she'd try to do is just be a little bowling ball.
Okay.
And
let's have you make it. What I'll do then is I'm going to have to. Unfortunately, but this is going to be disadvantaged because of your exhaustion. I'll let you make a dexterity check. If that gets counteracted by an inspiration, then that's fine. And it would be a dexterity check to kind of basically curl yourself in a ball and throw yourself in front of him. It's not strength. You're attempting to position yourself in such a way that he's going to fall over you as he runs.
I'm wondering could I make a case for acrobatics there? Because it is a sort of... Okay.
Sure. I'll give you acrobatics, yes.
All right.
Still at disadvantage, though, unless addressed.
No, I hear you. I feel like
and unfortunately, you're all out of fellowship points, which I find hard to believe that I'm saying that, but there are a bunch used previously.
I genuinely, not in a million years, did I think that there was going to be an orc in our little hobbity Shire game. So
that's right.
One
anyway, really old, decrepit one, but still.
Yeah. Yeah, no, people have been very generous with their inspirations. I will simply roll the disadvantage and see what happens.
As Trent would say, just roll high.
Roll to find out what happens. Acrobatics. That's 26. So, sorry, 25.
25 with disadvantage. 25. Wow, impressive. All right. Well, so I think that's actually exactly what happens. You roll yourself in front, and the orc, and he runs and then like literally just trips over you headlong. He slams to the ground. Now, what I have to think about is, if I were going to be mean, I'd say that you roll into a ball and he falls on you and your lantern, but I won't say that.
I was imagining she like.
No, I know that you put it down. I know. Yeah. I figured as much. So he falls on his face, but he is going to take. I would like you to roll 1d4, please. See how much damage he takes when he falls.
Bedtime 4.
Nice.
Wow. So it was basically 1d4 minus 1. So he's going to take 3 points of bludgeoning damage. He trips over, and you hear this sickening crunch, and then silence, and the orc lies motionless on the floor. And he is motionless on the floor, and as he is motionless on the floor, you hear this kind of this sort of sniveling sound from behind you, and then you hear, is he dead then? Is it dead? Is it killed? Is it killed?
I don't know. I didn't want to kill him. Is he? Coriander's gonna like uncrouch very, very slowly and with very wide eyes and
Sweetie, come here.
She's like really it's like she'll just like let Granny gather her. She's like, Granny, did I kill him? Is he dead?
Let me check, I suppose.
I was gonna say, if nobody else is gonna do anything, Titch is gonna put his spear through that guy's head. You know.
Oh yeah, then go ahead.
Corinda's gonna like flinch and hide her face in Granny.
Who said, is he dead?
Otho.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And for a moment, I thought you meant Titch was going to put his spear through Otho's head, and I'm like, wow, this got real dark all of a sudden. One step at a time.
No. Sweetie, go fetch my lantern, please. And like we're out of initiative, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Granny would like turn to Otho, walk up to him, and grab him by the ear. And drag him behind him towards the exit.
None of that. And he kind of like shakes free a little bit.
Can he shake free?
I mean, Otho is not like.
Now, Granny's have an opposed ear.
Sure. Well, I tell you what. Why don't we have an opposed roll? Let's see how effective this is.
Do I get like a matronly advantage?
I want to argue strongly for Granny having a Granny's advantage on
a Granny's advantage. I think the fact that I'm allowing you to attempt this on something which is not a hobbit child is your matronly advantage.
It's
to her.
If she were a if she were like, Kai Opaka from Deep Space Nine, then I could see.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously. We'll make an opposed roll. See, go ahead and roll your strength. I'll take athletics if you have this.
Intimidation instead, because like she's like obviously not stronger than
That's different. Right? If you're doing intimidation, you can't also be dragging him in one position. You'd be doing intimidation.
Like, the question is he like, whoa, fuck, I can't fight back because this is a granny, It's like
separate thing then. You'd need to do intimidation first and see what happened.
Okay, I'll just do athletics. God, I don't get anything on this.
If I had inspiration to give you, I would give
18.
it to you on this.
18 is great, but it is not enough. Apparently, Otho is driven by mind power or something.
No!
So he kind of pulls free. It'll be nice for you to know that he seems like he kind of holds his ear. So apparently you had a very nice grip. And he says, now, Granny, don't be doing that. You can't be taking me out of here. I have a claim to this mine. Now, thank you for saving me, but this mine is mine. And the orc was going to take
fireworks. But these fireworks don't belong to you.
What do you mean? They're my. That's ridiculous. They're my sack of fireworks.
I don't think that's true.
What? How would you know?
Them from?
But how would you know what they are?
I know that these are Gandalf's fireworks, and that they were given into the keeping of lady whose name I've forgotten.
Lobelia.
Galadriel Baggins.
Hey, Galadriel Baggins. Lobelia.
That's his mom.
Really? Look. Okay.
Well, they were not originally given into them, but like they were fooling around, and then her son Bruno, entertained the local children and all that stuff, and told them to store the things back at her husband's house.
Right.
So
okay.
So Otho says like these are mine by right, and besides that, we're talking about the mine anyway.
Pitch is moving.
Mr. Otho,
Okay.
no one here wants to take your mine away from you, but you took these fireworks under false pretenses, and they do not belong to you, and Uncle Bilbo is waiting at the mouth of the mine for us to bring them back. And
Bilbo?
you are doing a terrible thing here. You are going to blow yourself up.
What? That's ridiculous, girl. I wasn't going to blow myself up. I was just staking my claim aggressively. Okay, but this time...
Otho, are you drunk?
I don't know what you're talking about. You're not old enough to know what it means to be drunk. He looks clearly drunk. Although I should say he's not like sloshed. He may have been sobered up by his life being at risk over the last few minutes. Before you go on, Coriander, Titch has arrived on the scene, having moved up. And he says...
well, no, Titch is moving to make sure that he is between the fireworks.
You can do that, actually. Yeah, that's fine. Because he's now sort of arguing in this other thing. Welcome, Yedisek. So he's up and like talking. Okay, that's fine. So yes, he's still occupied. And he says, now, why would you, first of all, Bilbo Baggins has his own agenda. There's no reason that hobbit who's very rich should have anything to say about what I do with my own property. And this is my property, this mine. And he looks at all of you and he says, now, wait a minute. Are all of you, why did you come down here in the first place? Did you come for this mine?
We were following you.
Me? Why?
Because we were told that you had taken these fireworks and that you were bringing them down into the mine, and it seemed very clear that you were going to try to use them to explode the blocked part of the mine, and it seems like that's what you were going to do. And this seems like, I am not a very wise person like my granny is, but that seems like the stupidest thing I've ever heard of anyone doing. Also, I'm very tired, and I want to go to sleep, and you have kept everything so hard, and there was an orc, and now the orc is dead, and everything's very upsetting.
Baby, come here.
Well,
that's your grandma.
Well, that's some cheek, I say. Now, Granny, do you think that this
Coriander's
child...
gonna get up in his face. She's gonna get up in his face, and she goes, "Did you just say cheek to me? We saved your life, Mr. Otho. That orc was going to kill you."
Well, yes, maybe.
Stop arguing with us. Leave this mine.
All right. So he waves his hand like half surrender. He's like, all right, wait. Let's just look. Let's talk about this reasonably. All right. Now, listen. The fireworks were by right given to me to be stored, and I still had some say in them, but I understand that perhaps this didn't go exactly as everyone planned, and perhaps I may have been slightly over-enthusiastic in believing I could have taken the mine and opened up parts to find rich treasure beyond my wildest imaginings. Maybe that was a little much. So, this is what I'll do. Here's my proposition. If you will agree to serve as witnesses to the signing of contracts that give me mining rights to this tunnel, just this tunnel, only this single tunnel, then I will give you these fireworks back, and I'll even go further. I'll pay for the lost fireworks, the ones that were used by my son, out of my own pocket. That way, I get this mining tunnel, you get your fireworks back, the fireworks get paid, and the ones that were taken, and, everyone is happy in the end. Now that's better than just screaming and yelling and pulling everyone out by their ears. He kind of glares at you, Granny. Isn't it? And he turns on you, Cal, the one person who hasn't spoken yet because Titch has been dealing with the fireworks. And he's just like, right?
He looks at you, Cal. He's just blocking.
No, blocking it. No, I know. And by the way, Titch,
he is coated with blood, and he still looks angry, and he is focused on Otho.
Also, Titch, one other note, by the way, is that when you move to block off the fireworks, you can see that like the top of the sack was open, so like there's like a bottle rocket sticking out or whatever. So like, yeah. So Otho, sort of says, looking at Cal, like, well, doesn't that make sense? Don't you think so?
So while I was gone, did we pick up on? I seem to recall that this area was like unmineable because of the hardness of the rock. They couldn't get past this area, and
according to Philibert, yeah.
Has he given a hint as to what he thinks is here?
He hasn't yet. No, he hasn't.
Yeah. So Cal's going to say, just what do you hope to find in this particular tunnel? Otho, what is this all about in the end?
Well, there are things that are perhaps beyond everyone. There may be there's stories. I have reliable information about wealth back there. There's some wealth and reliable information that this mine could be used for more than just quarrying stone and coal. And I have this reliable information that was going to hopefully contribute to my own financial security and that of my family. And perhaps even eventually to the Baggins. He kind of just like eyes flicker over to you, Coriander. Like, might have helped you a bit in the end.
Also, I frankly do not. I can't possibly care less about this mine. What I do care about is you not blowing yourself to smithereens with some fireworks that you don't know how they work. I don't want to be
how hard can it be?
Reattaching any limbs, assuming that there are going to be any limbs left.
Well,
so I think the first step of action here should be to get out of here, out of this mine, and then we can all have a nice sit down, with a nice hot cup of tea, maybe a snack or 5, and then talk about any stuff that needs to be signed.
Quick question. Sure. Do we actually know, have we been told who the mine actually belongs to?
Technically the people of Scary are the ones who own it, along with the operators of it. Hold on a second, let me find who the operators are.
Because we knew that it was like a heavy security operation and stuff on the mine, but I don't remember like to whom it belonged.
Right, I need to double check because Philibert, of course, was an accountant for the mining company. And I believe it is a mining company that actually like runs it, that it actually manages it. Yes, some mining officials from Dwelling. But again, they own it and are supposed to manage it for the people of Scary. So the profit, goes theoretically to the people of Scary. That's how it works.
A nationalized mine. We love to see it. Mm-hmm. That's great. Incredible.
Yep. Fracking comes next. What do you say that was?
I'm choosing to believe that all the miners are unionized.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all getting paid.
Yeah, I imagine. More than a living wage with multiple benefits, yes.
They're all of age.
Yeah, there are no children.
Great dental plan.
Except for great in the mine.
Great dental plan. Second breakfast provided free of charge.
Oof.
So Cal says, Granny has the right of it. We need to get out of this mine, and we need to take those fireworks out with us.
And so Otho turns and for the first time sees Titch like blood covered and just glaring. Adam is like, well, and he kind of like turns back. He says, all right, look, as I say, the fireworks I'm happy to give back to you, even though they were given to me in trust, but I'm willing to give them back to you. But I don't want to leave this mine until I know for sure that I can have mining rights to this tunnel. Just this tunnel, no other tunnels. I'm not asking for the whole mine, just this one tunnel. Now, that shouldn't be that
Ask
hard.
the person who owns the mine.
Yeah.
I already
Four
talked
of
to
us
him.
don't
His
own
name
it.
is Philibert, and he had many good things to say about this. I already know him.
Right, let's go to Philibert then.
And he kind of...
The cold and moisture in this mine, like, is really getting into my bones.
His eyes narrow
and
when he
does
says...
like a stretch it, like you hear like these gnarly cracking sounds.
Yeah, right. His eyes narrow, and he says, he's like, now look, I will go with you, but I'm not leaving here until I have your word that you will say that I was here and I had a claim to this tunnel when you arrived, because there was nothing else here but that orc. Now, I'm not going to leave here until you at least give me your word that that is something that was the case, that you saw me here.
What was that orc doing here?
I don't know. He came running out of the shadows and was most intimidating. I don't know where he could have come from, but he was growling at me and pointing at the sack, and I said, "Get away, you foul thing!" And then I strode forward and I said, "You won't have this mine, sir." And that's when you appeared. No, Kurt, you never heard him say any such thing about "you won't have this mine, sir."
And which can you point where he came from?
He says, well, down your direction, actually. He came up here, I would say only perhaps 30 seconds before you did. I was here, and then his eyes flicker between Titch and then back over to Coriander. I was here making preparations, and then something came running out of the darkness, and I heard the sound of feet slapping on the stone.
Insight check.
Sure.
Insight check.
Sure. You could absolutely do.
Shark.
Fool of a took, Zamona. That's fair. He's not a took, though. This dude is a sackful baggins, so.
We have another took here, though. So.
We do have Coriander took, but that was, yes.
Yeah, you can call her a fool of a took, 100%.
Wait, no, Caloran is not the took. Well, he is a took, but not by name.
Yeah. Insight check.
And so is my
Oh, she has terrible insight. Oh, well.
Are we all inciting or just...
I mean, that is up to you. I believe this is a check, which is also at disadvantage. So,
well, I mean,
sounds plausible,
well,
Coriander. Sounds plausible.
Granny would go to Titch and tell him to lean down to her level and try to wash off some of the blood with a handkerchief.
As soon as she starts that, he just half snarls at her, like do not touch me, kind of thing. He is having none of that. He is not done.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, so I think Cal, anyway, and probably everybody, I don't know, is pretty suspect of his story and stuff.
I'll take an insight check from Cal then.
Yes, please roll high.
See, that's how it works.
Oh,
very plausible. Totally plausible.
You both get 6s. That's awesome.
Super plausible.
Coriander is very sleepy still, but still furious at this man. So she doesn't need to understand. She doesn't need to insight into him to just dislike him and not want to. But she is gonna say, I don't understand why you need us to say anything about this. Are you asking us to lie? I don't understand.
No, I'm not asking you to lie. I'm asking you to tell the truth, which is you saw me down here, and I was confronted by this orc, and I was here, which means I have mining rights over this tunnel. That's all.
Okay, wait. We were here too. By your logic, doesn't that mean we would have mining rights?
But you weren't here first, my dear. I was here first. You have to admit that. You came and found me. You said it yourself. You were coming after me.
We don't know that anyone else was here before you.
No one's been down this tunnel for an age and an age. I had to go through all these.
We only have your word for that. So
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
How can we know that for sure? I feel like you're asking us to lie. I don't feel comfortable.
It's not a lie. It's not a lie. And he folds his arms. He says, I'm not lying. Now, you can not like my methods, and you can object to the use of fireworks in carefully controlled situations, but you can't just accuse me of lying. I didn't lie. I was the first one down here. Sure, you can incite him at this point.
And Cal says to Titch, can you watch him for a moment? Keep him away.
Oh, you! Mm-hmm.
I certainly can.
Granny just looks over to him.
Okay. I'll come to Granny in a minute. Finish up what you wanted to say, Cal.
All right. Cal is heading to the fireworks and just saying, we're taking this stuff out, and we're making no promises to you at this point.
Yeah.
Till you tell us the full story outside of the mine.
Okay, so Granny.
Coriander's gonna get up in his face too. She's going to like get. He's probably like a little taller than her, and she's going to get up in his face, and she's going to stand on her tiptoes, and she's going to scowl at him, and she's going to say, "These fireworks don't want to be with you." And then she's going to go away to where to like.
We have a fireworks advocate. That's good. Yes. A things advocate, as Coriander's good at. Granny, you actually think that Otho really does believe that he has the rights to this, that he's not making it up, that he didn't just like shiv someone on the way down. Like, and in fairness to the Sackville Bagginses, all jokes aside, they are still hobbits. And there are limits to the evil that they would be willing to do. You think that Otho does believe that he has the right to this. Now, he may or may not be mistaken, but you actually get the feeling because Otho is just standing there obstinately. Now, you can bring the fireworks out because there's more of you than him, but he's not going to leave the mine. And you could say, well, fine, I'll leave him there. But the point is, he seems very like convinced that, that he was here first and that he ought to at least, that you will at least speak on his behalf and say he was here when we got there. Like, that's basically what he's asking you to do. And he is not going to move, it seems, unless that is promised.
Yeah, Granny does thoroughly not give a damn.
Right. Sure.
Stupid mine.
Coriander is also she's gonna like sort of as she's like stalking away towards the bag of fireworks. She's going to stop and she's going to pivot on her back foot and turn to Otho again and say to him, "If this is your mine and you have the rights to it, doesn't that mean that you are supposed to defend it against other people who are wanting to take it?"
Well, yes, once it's officially signed over to me, this tunnel, yes.
And given that we, all of us here, fought that orc while you did not lift a single finger.
Now, wait a minute.
Except to take that lantern and look like you were going to do something quite silly with it. Don't you think that actually would mean that if we were to stand in some kind of witness here, we should have some kind of rights to this mine? Since we saved your life and also made it so that, if you're just going to stay here while we leave, there's nothing to stop other orcs from coming here. We don't know where they came from. So if you're just going to stand here by yourself like a stone, then I think that you should probably be able to fend for yourself against whatever other dangers come here.
Make a persuasion check for me, Coriander. It's going to be at disadvantage, sadly, but not because of the nature of the attempt.
Let's try. Let's see what's going to happen. Here we go. Actually, I'm just going to figure that first. That's a 12.
So he hears you, and he kind of like, he sort of like hems and haws quite a bit, but he doesn't look like he's going to depart. Now, you can force him, or you could just, like, as we say, leave him in the mine. You do wonder what the reaction will be of Balin, but especially of Bilbo. One way or the other, but you can certainly do that. And there's more of you than him, and you'll be able to take the fireworks without him stopping you. Like, he's not, especially after dealing with the orc. Even before that, he was not some Superman.
Is he threatening to remain here?
Yeah, until he, can declare his stake.
I'm going to tell him that, Come with us, Otho, and I will testify that I saw you here before us, and that's as far as I can go, because I cannot speak to the legality of who owns this mine and who can claim it. But I will say that you were here before we were.
I will take a persuasion from you, Cal.
Okay.
I'm waiting for this all to happen, and then Titch being like, I coup de grace him to the back of the neck. Like, just like,
Titch was waiting that if Otho reached out to kind of pat Coriander on the head like they're their child, he was gonna charge. He was gonna be like, get your hand off her.
How dare you? Sweet.
Well, 13.
So Otho kind of like, rubs his chin and stands for several seconds, and then, well, all right, but you've given me your word that that's what you'll say.
Indeed, I promise.
And then he kind of nods and he looks back at Titch and kind of like, like slides, like seeing his expression, like slides slowly out of the way. Titch, what are you going to do with the bag, by the way? Or like, I guess, Cal, you were going over to the bag, but like, just everyone tell me what you want to do.
Yeah, well, if I packed it away, I'll just kind of motion to Titch to grab the bag, and I will go to Otho and say, come on, let's find some daylight.
Okay.
It really is dark and dank down here, and I'll try to lead him away.
Granny, Coriander.
Yeah, Coriander is gonna go over to Titch, who is super bloody and stuff, and she's going to rummage in her effects and pull out like what can only be described as a bouquet of handkerchiefs. And she's going to just like hold them out to Titch. Be like,
they are all embroidered with the initials BB.
Are you gonna do the magic thing and pull them out of your sleeve?
That's what I was thinking. It's just a magician.
She could have, but this is like an offering, and she's just like holding them up to Titch, trusting that like whatever is
not a copper mine, it's a copper field.
But anyway, she'll just look up at Titch and say, have some blood in your eyes.
And he's just like, I know. And okay? he's still on an absolute adrenaline, just cool, because he didn't get a single hit in. He got nothing to purge any of his anger that was built up.
The corpse.
He did tank a lot of the hits. He took the hits.
That's true.
Yeah.
And that's why he's so angry right now. Yeah. And he's having none of it. As soon as Otho is starting to move, he will reach back and grab the bag and put it over his shoulder, but his spear is still at the ready and he's following. But he is not letting anybody tend him until this is resolved.
Gotcha.
Well, Coriander is not gonna get that, take that hint, and she's just gonna go, are you okay, Titch?
No.
He's gonna shrink back and go, okay. That was really scary back there. I didn't like...
How heavy is the bag of fireworks?
It's a good, I don't know, 40 pounds. There's a lot of fireworks comparatively in this sack.
Okay. Because he's trying to figure out how to if he can, take the bag and the orc. He didn't care about the orc remaining intact. He's just going to drag the body.
Okay. I think you can probably do that if you hang the bag on the spear. Like if you like tie it onto the sack, or tie the sack onto the speir, right?
Like what's it called?
Yeah, like the hobo,
cartoons?
Thing with like the cartoon hobo type of deal. Or so you're able to do that.
Briander's gonna take the scimitar, by the way.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. And as you all you make your way out of the mine, kind of as you exit. It is now early evening, and so it's a little bit, getting somewhat dark. But waiting for you found is not just Bilbo and Balin, who both look quite concerned, but also Philibert and a number of other hobbits from Scary, who have obviously been brought by Philibert, who sort of told them some of the deal with all of this. And as you begin to sort of the original reaction when they see you is sort of this big kind of cheer. Then they see so they cheer first, then they see Otho, and they kind of like the cheer, because they're not happy with Otho. Yeah. And then then that changes to as they see the orc being pulled out alongside with the blood-covered, angry, spear-wielding Titch just walking out of the mine entrance, like, right, epically, with the sack of fireworks, but most importantly with the orc behind them. And there's this that creates this big sensation. Everyone's just and they're all sort of chattering. Philibert goes over to look and comes back, and several things happen. First of all, Scary is quite grateful to you for having kept their mine from blowing up. And they reward everybody with, first of all, a very long and pleasant rest. You'll be happy to know, Coriander. In fact, they even send back sort of explanations to various parental units that might need them. Each of you are given a not only comfortable beds, but also a wash and cleaning, and also medicinal help. Titch, it is
I was about to say,
yes,
there's a healer here.
Well, they're willing to give. I mean, you could also do some healing if you wish to, Granny. But the point is they're offering because they're very grateful to the group. So there's that. The fireworks are taken and are brought back and are locked up, basically brought back to Bag End, in fact, eventually, where they are safely stored where they should have been in the first place, at least from Bilbo's point of view. As a sort of side note, I should point out to everybody that the seeing the orc, the residents of Scary do investigate the mine, and what they discover about a week later is that there was a deep passage leading into the mine that was previously undiscovered, that is littered with bones of small animals and remnants of an encampment, but no signs of orcs. So you don't know whether that means that there was a passage in here that fell long ago, and that orc was the last remnant of some raiding party or something, or whether the orc just got in here on its own, or whether there's no signs of orcs for now. But for how long, it's not clear. As far as the mining rights thing is concerned, eventually, after much sort of haggling back and forth, Otho is given a partial share of the tunnel. Otho kind of kicks madly at this idea, by the way, because Otho's feeling is like this was mine the whole time. But the residents of Scary were quite upset,
right.
And it's
this
only
is mine.
It's only because of Cal's testimony that they were testimony that he was in fact there before they got there, that gives the people a feeling, because they admit that they had not gone down this tunnel for many, many years. And so this one that he found was somewhat unique. So he's given the mining rights to it. What he discovers down that tunnel, we don't know yet. That's something which is going to take a little while to determine. So go ahead, Coriander. Yeah.
That Coriander would say, I will not contradict my Uncle Cal, who is very wise and who only speaks the truth. But I don't think that Mr. Otho should be trusted with a mine. He was going to blow it up. He was going to blow it and himself up. I don't think he knows what he's doing. That's what I think. And that's all she's going to do on it.
Yeah, you definitely have a few residents who are kind of nodding furiously at this idea, for sure. Titch, you are given a particular honor if you wish it, which is that the day before you all set off back for home, they come to you and they, first of all, give each of you a medal, which is sort of the seal of the town, basically making you they call you Friends of Scary, basically, and it's this very cool looking, and Coriander, very shiny, by the way, badge with silver inlay and stuff like that, very pretty. They do this for each of you, and then. Like that. Yeah, that's actually not too far off. And Titch, what they give to you is they give you not only Friend of Scary, but they give you Guardian of Scary, a separate little badge, and they offer you a job. Philibert asks whether you would wish to become the main lead sort of senior guard at the mine. Because they've been looking for someone who could do a better job with security than some of the guards have done to this point. And the town seems to have a rather almost superstitious awe of you, even after you've calmed down. They happily bring you whatever food you like, but you notice they quickly scurry away and don't stick around near you after you do things.
They could have given me a magic bag that is endless roast chicken, but no.
That's true, they did not. Yes. Suffice to say, you won't ever have to eat a chicken in this town again, like pay for a chicken in this town again.
Okay. That's different.
But they
chickens per week.
They do offer you that job if you wish it. It's up to you what you want to say about it. Yeah. No. They seem disappointed, but they understand. And probably, I would say, last of all, as you were all headed on your way back to Bag End, Bilbo drops back to talk to the hobbits in particular. And he says, one thing I don't fully understand about this business is, well, you were down there in the mine and you found Otho and then this terrible orc, and you were able to defeat him, and I was very impressed by all of you, of course. But what I don't fully understand is, well, Titch was, and he drops his voice a little bit, covered in blood, and Coriander was already exhausted, but she looked, well, shocked, stunned, horrified, and, Cal, you looked as if you were stern and grim, and, well, for all the world, as if you were the way Gandalf sometimes acted around me when I was asking him an impertinent question, perhaps. And then, Granny, you seemed to be, well, as if you were fairly satisfied with the way things had gone, and I'm curious as to whether were any of you, the orc, of course, was dangerous, but were you all right down there? Did you almost, well, lose your life or something terrible like that? Or, I just want to know if all of you were safe down in that mine.
Coriander sniffles and feels like it's not actually okay. She's seen something die for the first time properly, because trolls turning to stone doesn't count. That's just a thing that happens naturally.
Sure.
Death happens naturally, but this was an unnatural death.
Right.
And she doesn't actually say anything at first. So if anyone wants to go first, then that's all right. She's just kind of sniffling a little and looking down at the ground and looking actually quite not happy, despite her very shiny badge, which she has turned upside down so that it sort of reads "scary friend" instead. Yeah.
Well, Cal says, Bilbo, I've been around a little bit, not too far afield, but I like to think I'm, well, not worldly wise, let's say Shire wise, and I haven't seen anything like that before. That was that struck me. That was a difficult thing down there. Maybe because of the darkness, maybe because of the danger of the fireworks, maybe because of how crazed Otho was about the treasure he thought was there. It was a disturbing experience, that's for sure.
And Bilbo nods seriously and waits to hear from others.
Well, I'm just glad nobody got blown up.
Ditch has got a little honing steel, and he's gradually just sharpening the head of his spear, and he's just like, I would have had no objection if he'd have blown himself up.
Bilbo nods.
We would have been blown up with
if we had not gotten there in time and he had done what he had set out to do.
And yet you went in there and helped rescue him.
We had a job we were asked to do. We were sent to get the fireworks, and we did. Honestly, I wouldn't have cared less if we had left him there to rot in that hole.
And Bilbo kind of nods and he says, well, I understand that feeling, but, well, after all, he is at least partially a Baggins somewhere in his past. I would have thought it was a shame for him to die in that terrible way. And after being half drunk, too. Well, you don't know what it must be like to live with Lobelia, and and he kind of just shakes his head. But he has much to answer for, as usual. I'm sorry that you only went through it. I think perhaps this adventuring business with all of you is... Well, I've been thinking about it, and I don't want to continue to put you at risk. And I think that there shouldn't be any more of that sort of... Well, these adventures. I need to make sure that you're all safe now. It's time for me to settle down and stop acting the fool. And so I've decided that going forward, that's it. I'm no more of the adventuring to wild, strange places or even to familiar places with strange results. I'm going to be a very grounded Bilbo Baggins now and not put any of you or my family at risk. And as he says this, you hear a flap, 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 which is the sound of like feet slapping on the road, bare feet. And as you turn around,
a bear?
Bare feet?
You can see a bear. It's like, you can see there is a young hobbit boy who comes running up. He says, Mr. Baggins, sir. And Bilbo, yes, what is it? Well, yes, you're the young, you work for the farmer, don't you? And the boy says, yeah, that's right. I've been running for well nigh over a mile to find you before you got back. You see, there's a problem. And Bilbo says, well, wait, now hold on. No more adventures. I just made a promise. I can't go. It's not adventure. It's danger. There's a beast, sir. Farmer Maggot. He's asked for your help. And he asked that you help him, or Buckland itself could be at risk, sir. And Bilbo sort of stops and stares at the four of you and Balin, who gives a very small, sly smile. And that's where we're going to bring our session to a close.
Titch.
Yes, and Titch spears him in the face. No.
Titch says, it's on my way home anyway. And he grabs his stuff and makes for the door.
Outstanding.
Miranda, looks really sad for a second, but she's totally still got the scimitar, and she sort of, hoiks it over her back.
Right.
And it's just one more job. and
that's how it starts.
That's right. One more job. Very, very lovely stuff. And yes, one note to the players. First of all, players, I'm going to ask you folks to do this between now and next week because you are now level 3. We'll be going into this last adventure at level 3. That's the first thing. The second thing is, now I was going to do a fellowship phase, but I think actually, since I'm leveling you to 3, I'm not going to do that. I think it'll allow us to kind of accelerate and kind of give us a chance to just do these sessions. I would not normally rush you from one thing to the next, but in this case, I think there's logic as to why. So I'm going to make you level 3 for this. And for those of you who missed the announcement at the beginning of the stream, we have 2 more sessions of this adventure, this campaign, next week, and then one in November. And that will be the conclusion of Shire Adventures, because 2 of our players, Amal and Brad, due to overwhelming schedule commitments, are not going to be able to continue in it, perhaps at some point in the future, but they will not be able to continue. But the good news is that after we finish with that session, starting either later in November or definitely in December, will be the beginning of a new campaign of a game called Beowulf, which is a duet system with a GM and a player, and it will be myself and Tari and myself and Tren who will be alternating. So Tren will be 1 week, and then 2 weeks later it'll be Tari, and then so on. So each of them will be joining us once a month for their Beowulf adventures, and it's going to start with the session 0 in which they construct their characters. Sadly, that means though that Shire Adventures will be going by the wayside after these next 2 sessions, but hopefully we will end it with even more of a bang than we've done to this point so far. And I really, really enjoyed watching how how everyone was going to navigate through this. Fight took a little longer than I expected, but it was such a fun fight to watch everyone kind of navigate that I was like, let's just continue to, roll with the punches, because it was a lot of fun to see how they were going to handle most excellent fireworks. And by the way, chat, the final adventure of Shire Adventures is called To Soothe a Savage Beast. So that is the name of the final component of the adventure. I will start with the gentleman on the bottom right. Tren, Titch, tank Applebow there, taking all of the damage. I did love the original thing of you charging and the orc charging and the spears just like whoop, like in the same spot, but ultimately missing each other. But of course, I was wondering how Titch was going to react to all of this business. There was a job to do, job had to be done, did accomplish the job, but Otho really effed this up to a fairly well and almost made it disastrous, obviously, for everybody. And it was interesting to see how Titch was going to kind of navigate through all of that in terms of how things got managed, and, in the end did manage to make some pretty I think got his point across. And also, by the way, just in the combat point of view quickly, were you not tanking those points, then that would have been a huge problem for the hobbits. So honestly, it wasn't like Titch wasn't doing anything that was important. So having said all that, yeah, go ahead, Brett.
I was kind of hoping, by the way, that Titch and the orc would both just keep missing each other for like a round.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, while the rest of you were just sort of like, I was waiting for one of you to just start doing a dance, like da da da. How did you feel about today's session, Trim? Where will they find folks? Well, I guess we know they'll find you next week, because we don't have
right back here.
We don't have Eberron, so that's true. Yeah. How'd you feel about tonight?
I thought tonight was great. It was a lot of fun as always. Titch went into this with the full expectation that he was definitely going to have to kill this orc, and that he might very well have to kill Otho if it looked like there was any flame going anywhere near those fireworks. That he was fully prepared to put a spear point right through Otho's, right between the bones of his arm, and pin it to the wall, and be like, no, kind of like he was ready to kill both of them if he needed to.
Yeah.
And he's still very angry about it. Anyway, he's mellowed a bit since they got back, because there was chicken, but everything's fine.
That helps.
Yeah, it does help a lot. It's kind of like Percocet for him, I guess. I don't know what Percocet does. Never mind. Anyway, so
he was killing Otho. His son isn't born yet for another 4 years, so that would create paradox.
Oh, total paradox.
So you're saying that he had the ability to destroy the Shire and all of Middle Earth, then the entirety of reality, all he had to do was
Oh my God, the Thanos imperative of
that would be
all
great. as long as his last thing was I am inevitable, and then stabs Otho, that would be great. Anyway, so just Thanos thing. So yeah, it was fun, and it made sense for Titch to do that, because he's a guardian. That's what he does. He protects others. And to half answer, or at least to address Amal's question in Zoom chat, are we rolling hit points now? Because somebody kind of already did.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. And Titch, upon hearing that the thing is back at Farmer Maggot's place, it's like, okay, that's on the way back to Bree. No problem, I'll head that way, deal with it on the way.
The power of Farmer Maggot.
As soon as Bilbo started saying, all right, I'm not going to put you people at risk anymore, I'm just going to settle down, he was putting his honing steel away and getting ready to just pick his shit up and leave.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, then I got no reason to be here, I'm going home. And so he was already gearing up to go.
Yeah. Good timing. So then it worked. The timing works well. Good stuff. Trent, anything you want to point out about a like, leaving aside where they'll see you next, like any recordings coming out soon, or narrations or escape pods or things like that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I can think of.
All right. Then just be checking out Trend with Greyshade, because that audiobook was awesome. Oh, and also Negocios has just passed 10,000, 10,058. So congratulations to them. Less than 12 hours to fund. Very good stuff. Congratulations to Carlos and Claire. You'll see more of that tomorrow, but more about that in a bit. Thanks, Trent. Good stuff tonight. Good stuff as well, Tari, from Granny on a couple of levels. First of all, I think that, I love the idea of the sort of going after with the walking stick and everything, but obviously clutch highlight for Granny is the pulling up the orc and pulling Coriander out, like classic moment, right? That goes into the litany of like top 10 Granny moments, Yeah, it was really funny. And I absolutely loved that. And then also Granny talking about sort of like, playing the granny, like, listen, Otho, here's what you need to know and whatever. And I think kept returning to the thing, which was sort of, I thought, most sort of significant, which is that none of you really give a damn about this stupid mine. Like, it was just about not having fireworks blow up and take you all to bits with it. And also not having, this random orc that's there cause problems and who knows what after that. So Granny articulating, I think, what was sort of the central premise, which is get out alive, save the fireworks, I guess save Otho theoretically, but at least save
Granny
the mine
also
from...
doesn't care about the fireworks, more like about people not blowing themselves up.
But not people not blowing themselves up, exactly. So I think you got a lot of those good moments in here too, and it'll be interesting to see how all of that plays out as we go through the final couple of stages of this campaign. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next, Terry?
This was a lot of fun. And also I need you please to roll a d8 for me so that I can check off my my hit points.
You need me.
Didn't you already do it?
Yeah, that's how we do it. Like we both roll and then go with whichever is higher. That's how we did it the past times.
Oh.
Wait, what? You want me? What? I roll too?
I guess not.
No.
Then I'll just go with the 4. Oh, coot.
Well, wasn't it? No, I thought last time it was like either you take the average number.
Right. The average number. That's right. The average number or whatever you roll. That's true.
I'm thinking of a different group. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you are.
I think you are. I was like, I'm not rolling your hit points for you.
Before this group.
No.
But then again, this group has been around for many years.
Long time.
6 years at least.
Yeah.
Long time. It's true.
So I'm very sad to see this group end.
Yeah, me too. But
end of an era. RIP.
Also,
I still haven't gotten my books there, somewhere stuck in mail.
No!
Really?
So, yeah, they've been just stuck with
what is going on with
Germany?
Chaotix was having a hard time getting the stuff I sent for ArvCon, and he's like, "No, it has nothing to do with you. It's this whole thing with what is going on with German mail all of a sudden? I don't.
What do you mean all of a sudden? Always.
What? You telling me that German mail is not efficient? I can't. That.
No, regular mail, yes, but packages are fucking nightmare.
Really? Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh wow. All right. So you rolled a 5, so that means we're talking 16 out of 16 for your hit points.
No, it's 4.
Oh, 4.
Plus 1. I rolled a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus 1 for your con, right?
Yeah.
Right. So 5 total.
But what if I want to raise my con this level up, which I don't know if I can do because I don't know if I get a
no, that'd be level 4.
Yep. So 16 out of 16.
In regular D&D, but we don't know about these rules.
What happens at level 3?
Lots of cool stuff happens, but and Tari, where will the lovely folks see you next? One nice thing about Beowulf, by the way, folks, being earlier, is that we'll be able to do our earlier time, which means both Trent and Tari will be able to do noon to 3 Eastern instead of 4 to 7 Eastern, which means they will be less sleepy for different reasons.
No promise.
So, well, theoretically, anyway.
I'm always sleepy.
Titch with the 9. Wow. Check you out. So 28 out of 28, is that what we're looking at?
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
So it is just poke the hit dice button. That's what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because then it adds your constitution modifier.
Is that racial, the D8, or
no,
it's based on class, yeah.
And what is messenger?
Probably 1d6. But let me see.
Not bad.
7, that's good.
Yeah. That's good.
You haven't gotten the signed BattleTech books yet? I have to follow up on that, Effect Life. I don't know why. They said that John said that was sent off a while ago. But I'll try to ask. Okay, messenger.
Just the thing is, Oh wait, I'm just gonna go and chat and tell that story with the German mail.
It is D8, yes. So D8 plus con, Brad, would be the.
Yeah. So just click hit dice in the center of your.
Coriander with 7.
Mine shows a D4
no,
for some reason.
No, it's definitely not. It's definitely not D4. It's D8.
You picked. It's selectable. Here we go. All right. So D8. Here we go.
Oh, that's more
Much
like
better.
it. Okay, so Coriander, you had a 27 out of 27. Then I think is what that means.
Yeah.
Okay, and then let's see, Cal, you have got a 24 out of 24.
Yep.
All right. So Titch with 28, Coriander with 27, Cal with 24, Granny with 16. But Granny is a healer and also
good narrative sense.
Right? I know. Yeah, like it totally fits. Okay, so Tari, where else will folks find you or any of those sorts of things?
On this here bed channel, but not always at the same bed time. For Gamebook illustration, which did we do that?
We have done that, I believe, this month. Yes, as Chasms with Malice.
Oh yeah, that was last week. That was already October. Yeah, that's right. I'm like, who can keep track of this kind of stuff?
It's true.
Besides that, I'm on Tumblr and on Instagram and on Blue Sky, where I post my art and stuff, and also a webcomic that I sporadically update called Penelope's Little Heraldry, which is just about teaching folks like the very basics of heraldry in a hopefully humorous and cute way. Like me, I'm also humorous and cute.
Of course. Of course. And
of course. That's me. And also, it's past 1 a.m.
Yes. So it's bedtime. So you should.
I can hear my bed calling me.
That's true. So heed the call of your bed. If you don't mind leaving your camera on, we'll stop momentarily. But thanks, Tari. Very excited to have Tari and Trent both with me for the Beowulf campaigns. That'll be cool times. Tari, thank you. And we'll see you soon. Actually, next week. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Moving on up to Brad. Brad, your Cal's work, it was funny. You're right. It's the first time I think you ever actually wielded a weapon in anger in this campaign. But I do have to say that beyond the sort of attacks here, it was sort of Cal's declaration that he would, I'll say that you were here first when we got here, type of thing, that really kind of had as much of an effect on Otho as anything else. I think because you also probably believed that, like, I don't give a damn about this mine, but I don't want to sit here and let this guy just sit here and rot, or do something stupid or whatever, foolish, whatever. You didn't do any of that. Instead, you were like, here's how we get the guy out of the mine, and do so with sort of a minimum of excess fuss beyond what we already had. So I thought that was interesting and sort of indicated Cal's sort of like level-headedness, in the group in terms of how to manage things, which is definitely a change from Bolo, I think. And sort of reflective of the kind of character that's gradually been built as Cal, a map maker and a messenger, but also someone who's sort of like, here's how I keep things on a reasonably even keel. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Yeah, Cal didn't really know how he was going to turn out in the beginning, but he's a very pragmatic sort. He wants to get things done, and he wants to get it done as soon as possible so he can move on to other things. He's like a structured, ordered guy. He wants to finish things up, move on to the next thing. So it was important to him to de-escalate and get out of that place, so I can breathe again, kind of thing. And this was a fun adventure. It was it went in directions I did not expect. When we were first talking about fireworks and stuff, I'm thinking, we're going to be dealing a lot with someone who's out for like not a joyride, but a thrill, of some sort, and trying to catch them. And it took a left turn once we got down to the Whitburrows. And so that was fun. And dark and creepy, down in the mine. That was a nice,
appropriate for the season,
fun,
as
nice
is the next
vibe.
one.
Yeah, strange orc showing up all of a sudden. Yeah, so there's a cool adventure, and a cool way to wrap it up too, frankly, because I thought it was neat that Bilbo, sort of grappling with the results of, his desire to adventure sort of through others and bring people into the fold, into the experiences he had, but then he sees what can happen if it gets out of control and stuff. And then to have that little twist right at the end, oh no, one less thing, one less adventure.
That's final adventure.
Yeah. So it was fun. So looking forward to the next one. As we're wrapping up, just, you can find me at quillings.com. All my socials are there. I mentioned seminars and stuff. I do have classes on there that are sort of one-on-one lit reactor style classes. So if you're looking for any writing instruction, check that out on my website. Again, quillings.com. And otherwise, looking forward to coming back next time.
Good stuff. Thank you, Brad. And last but certainly not least, good stuff as always from Coriander, Amal. Obviously, the going after the scimitar was great, even though there were. I love being able to roll with different consequences, so that you did this thing. You're like, I got the scimitar. Cal knocks them over. The orc falls backwards. Coriander is semi-crushed. Granny is
Hey, can I say something too about Coriander? Like, as much as Cal has complained about like her exuberance and stuff like that, he really, really misses the old Coriander. He doesn't want the tired Coriander anymore. So he's like hoping the old one's back. So like he's changed.
I forget what it was. It feels like she's been tired for so long. It's so long. But yeah, I don't know. Has Cal seems like the longest suffering. I don't. Has he complained? Are you just telling me that?
I feel like
I don't know.
Right?
No, I don't think he wouldn't say that outwardly to Coriander or anything. But I think inwardly,
yes,
he would have been like, suffering through it, kind of thing.
Excellent. It makes me so happy, considering our last campaign and the reversal of this dynamic has been so good.
Yes.
Yeah, that's funny.
It would have been so nice.
But it was good stuff, Amal, from Coriander, and again the the sort of self-righteous, like, but this is, how dare you, type of thing, followed by, and then followed by Tit, being like, are you okay, Tit? No, I'm okay, and just being tired and sort of seeing, and seeing something die is hard, like, wow, that's never happened before. And yet there's an irrepressibility, of course, about Coriander that is continues to be appealing despite the frustrations of doing XYZ. And always, of course, her heart is always in the right place. I love the image, by the way, or the metaphor of the firework, or the concept, I guess, of the fireworks don't want to be with you, because Coriander's always been a defender of where things want to be and don't want to be from the very beginning. So that was a lot of fun, and and had some significant kind of combat effectiveness one way or the other based on all this too, because you were all fighting in limited circumstances against a very old, very decrepit orc that your old group would have breathed on and it would have blown up, right? But this is not that same crew, so it was a different experience there. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the lovely folks find you next?
I loved it. I thought it was so great. I loved that the very scary circumstance that we ended in last time opened up with like slapstick hijinks. I was so happy that like that roll went that way, and she's just dangling off the sword and then got smushed. Like it's so good narratively. I just love it. I just love a good story. And anyway, it was very. Also, I cannot believe how much damage she dealt, considering she rolled ones. Like that was amazing. She rolled. I mean, she hit. That was fine. But then, her damage and the bonus die damage were both ones, and she still ended up dealing like 7 points or something like that. So it was just, it was delightful. It's actually also kind of freaking me out. I don't know if this is, probably we're gonna have moved past this, but I kind of would love for her to have a conversation with Titch where she's like, which of us killed it? Like, because right? I mean, technically, from like, I mean, he was not moving from, and anyway, I think she's gonna feel quite weird and messed up about that. Especially if she learns that, like, oh, like, what if this was just like one lonely, cut off from home orc who was just trying to survive in this place who
helped miners survive on a regular basis, and like Coriander gets 6 shadow points, like
But it was a very dark turn for her, and like I just did not expect at all that this was going to be in the Shire Adventures, and it made for such a kind of satisfying tonal shift that I really liked that. It's just scary stuff. Cool, scary stuff.
Indeed.
It's called scary.
That's it.
Amazing. In terms of where people can find me next, here, but also at CanCon. I'm excited. I've got a schedule up actually for my panels, which I extracted from the various documents.
Yeah, I posted mine this morning too.
Yeah, I will post mine in case they are of interest to anyone. And I'll poke them over here. But as per usual, though, you can find me online at my website, where you can sign up to my newsletter. Otherwise, I am diminishing my presence on the various places where we go to feel bad.
It's true.
On the internet, essentially. The best bet really is to just sign up for my newsletter. It's just, especially when there are crappy things going on in the world, I constantly ask myself, what is the net benefit actually of using this media to attempt to say anything when what will something good be accomplished by this? I doubt it. So it just seems like, why do anything except talk about cool Kickstarters for cool games?
That's true.
Like Negocios Infernales, which
10-253 now.
Yay! Yeah. I really feel like they've done something tremendously special with that deck that they've built.
Yeah.
It is diving in deep to that space between like divination and gameplay. Yep. And it's like a kind of scary deck, and it's very effective and very generative, and I really like it. So highly recommend that, and that's basically it for me, I think.
Good stuff from everybody today, and as I say, we'll be, bittersweet sad when we say goodbye to this adventure, but not for want of having told wonderful stories in the process. So we'll talk more about that in a couple of sessions, but we will see these folks next week, actually, for the beginning of the final part of Shire Adventures called To Soothe the Savage Beast. So chat, can we get some love for Amal Elmatar, for Brad Bollier, for Tari Tunes, and for Trent Sparks? Great work, everybody, and I will see you folks back here. Well, Amal, I'll see you this weekend, but everybody else, I will see you folks back here next week for stuff. Thanks all.
I'm going to start mentally prepping myself for re-encountering your tallness.
My tallness.
I was not prepared for last time.
My height. Well, yeah.
We're all the same height in the boxes, and then you arrive in real life, and it's like, hi.
I'm not that tall, but no, I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good time. But thanks everybody. Good stuff, and I will see you folks soon. Bye for now, all.
Bye.
Bye, friends.
All right, that is going to do it for us for tonight. And yeah, like I say, bittersweet. I am sad that we're going to be moving past Shire Adventures. I knew that we were going to be aiming for this probably about a month or so. I knew that we were heading in that direction. But as I say, I'm very happy that we get to continue Adventures in Beowulf, which is a world that I had been wanting to do something with for a while anyway. I feel like Free League has gotten their money's worth from this. I mean, there's an audio podcast out of this that's being worked on as well that is currently available for people. And I think it's done exactly what they would have wanted it to do, tonally and otherwise. And I'm not ruling out the possibility that down the line, after we've played some Beowulf and, whatever else, that we might at some point, revisit a Moria campaign or, something like that. But I'm very excited about doing the Beowulf stuff. And I think it's going to be great as well. And it's part of a bit of a consolidation, as it turns out, because Talisman Adventures, which I'm going to be playing later this month, as I mentioned already, announced this. When this last Talisman Adventures adventure that we're in right now is over, that's going to do it for the campaign, because Pegasus Spiele no longer has the rights to it, and so they're not sponsoring it anymore. And so we were all like, well, there are a couple of other like mini adventures we could do, but we're like, this pretty much is good. So once that comes to an end, then we will be focusing on Ghosts of Saltmarsh, which still has, a fair bit of legs to it. So we'll be doing that over on GOG. We'll be continuing with Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks. We'll be continuing with Eberron, which is about halfway through that campaign. And then we will be doing Beowulf. And again, that means, so basically you'll be down to 4 campaigns from the 5 that I'm on now. So it's a good consolidation, I think. And I've done a little bit of the sort of informal duet system of me with one adventurer, but I've never had the chance to actually do a campaign of it. And so I think it's going to be great to have both Tari and Tren will be, I think, great at this. I think it's going to be a really nice little addition to the channel. So again, losing Shire Adventures, but we will have played, when all's said and done, all the Adventures of Middle-earth stuff that we did, and then the Shire Adventures stuff that we did. It'll be a very good, I think, collective group of Tolkien stuff. And I think we have done, I think the players have done a representative effort in Professor Tolkien's work, and it's been an honor to be able to GM it for them. So that's the deal with that. As for me, I am going to be done here, myself personally, that is, until the weekend. No stream on Friday, probably because I'm going to be driving up to CanCon in Ottawa on Friday. Saturday, there may be a stream, but it depends totally on programming and all that kind of stuff. So it's not not sure. Well, you're going to get some of it for sure, because you're going to be doing the Beowulf thing for sure, Echo. Hey, what's up, Shadow Mage? Good to see you. So programming and stuff like that is going to be happening on that Saturday. So I don't know if we'll have a stream on Saturday. And then Sunday, of course, I'll be doing a live event from Perfect Books up in Ottawa, along with Brandon Crilly. So basically just, kind of keep your eyes peeled, watch Twitter and Blue Sky and all that stuff, and on Discord. And I'll be able to hopefully post some information about where I'm going to be, but just letting you folks know about that. Again, I would say this weekend is very up in the air in terms of possible streams. Next week, I'll be back to it. And at that point, I'll be home all the way until possibly I might go down to PAX Unplugged in December for a day. That's possible. But otherwise, everything else would just be sort of virtual con stuff until we get to February, basically, of next year. And all of that. I am going to have an announcement about a big event coming up in late January. I'm not quite ready to announce it, but very soon. And it's definitely something you will be excited about, I suspect. So very excited to announce that shortly. It is channel related-ish, or at least it's channel adjacent. But I'll be talking about that when we get here later on in the month. So excited, later on for that. So there's that. And I think there was something else I was going to mention, and now I can't remember what it was. Oh, yes, about streaming. But Wednesday, the channel is going to be live, even if I am not personally. The channel will be live with Carlos Hernandez and Cassandra Kaw and Brandon O'Brien and Will Sobel and Anna Russell are going to be playing an actual full game of Negocios and Fernalis. It'll be starting at 4:30 p.m. tomorrow, which is awesome. And it's going to be running, I think, until 7:30, if I'm not mistaken. Carlos is going to be running it, and I am going to be making sure that we get everything set. In fact, I'm making a note to remember to change my stream title so that Carlos is ready to go. And I am excited for that. I'm going to not be able to see most of it. I'm going to be on son duty watching my son, but I will make sure to check in as soon as I can to the VOD and stuff like that. And it should be a great thing to continue to promote this game, which is done super well. They've already funded in less than 12 hours. That was clear to me based on just the initial response. They have funded in less than 12 hours. Which means that now they've got 31 days to keep pushing on and hitting all the stretch goals and doing all that good stuff. I think the stretch goal that they've got, let me see here. see what they've got for stretch goals. All right, so they have all this. They have part 4, blah, blah, blah. They have all these things. Role-playing, yes. Alien Epsilon and setting. Right. It's also a tool for artists. Take my money. I know about that. Stretch goals, okay. So at 11K, they will switch the Sword of Doom token for a metal token. That's pretty awesome. They're definitely going to hit that. 12K, they'll add NPC card stands. They're absolutely going to hit that. 13,000, they'll get a novella-length ebook collection of Negotios Infernalis short stories by Carlos and Claire. I have no doubt they'll hit that. 16K, they'll add a print copy of the Negotios Infernalis comic. My guess is they hit that. 20,000, all backers who pledge for the game at the $45 or higher tier, which includes me, will get a neoprene mat of the map of Espada. I think they have a good shot to get to that 20K, honestly. I can't imagine they wouldn't get anything less than like 14, 15,000. I would think that they would get that. So that's great. I am excited about that. Oh, until 7 tomorrow? Okay, so 4:30 to 7. Yeah, but I mean, they may run over a little bit over, but that sounds fine. So anyway, so that's going to be happening tomorrow. And then next up is maybe me with a stream this weekend. And then otherwise I'll be back next Tuesday with more Solasta. Basically exactly what today was. Solasta Palace of Ice on GOG Comp's Twitch channel. And then this running from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern again. And then on Wednesday, another Negotios Infernalis game. So basically we'll have mega, very much the same. Second verse, same as the first. And then the following weekend, we'll be looking into some more Eberron, Oracle of War and stuff like that. And then, of course, Halloween is coming in a few weeks, 3 weeks from today. So that's going to be good times as well. If you like what you saw and heard, please follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube with !ArvTube. Discord is !ArvCord. Twitter is !ArvTweets. Website arvaneleron.com. Financially, !ArvSky, I should mention as well, which you should check out too, because for whenever Twitter collapses. !Arvtreon is my Patreon sitting right there. That is really the financial backbone of the channel, so it really helps if you folks can support that. Cool stuff for you and cool stuff for the channel, including inspirations to help our players, which did get used today, as you noticed, so did come into play. Also, of course, !Arv Shop is the merchandise area. We are going to have some Shire Adventure stuff, and I hope we might even get some Beowulf stuff up there. We will see. But in any case, you will be able to get that and some Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks, plus our already existing Eberron Oracle of War stuff and Arvaneleron stuff coming up on the store. So all that's going to be happening. The website, and then subbing to the channel, of course, which allows you to sub to the channel and get those custom sub badges and emotes to use everywhere across Twitch, plus the previously mentioned inspirations. On the publishing front, Icarus for my graphic novel from Athos Arts, Library for my Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, that's my 5e adventure and sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment, and Greyshade for my Grey Assassin trilogy. Greyshade and Renegade are already out. You can get those now. You can also get the audiobook of Greyshade from Trent Sparks at that link. That's an amazing audiobook that you should definitely check out. And you can pre-order Heretic, which is the final book in the Grey Assassin trilogy. I'm working on that as we speak. That'll be out next year. And the tabletop role-playing game, which is going to be coming out later as well. And all of those things to support Greyshade and to get some, if you enjoy Jason Bourne, Assassin's Creed, if you enjoy The Equalizer and stuff like that, with an element of faith and doubt and possibly even the chance for redemption. If you like all of that set in Renaissance fantasy cities, then you'll definitely want to check out the Grey Assassin trilogy and all the things connected thereby. I want to thank everyone for being here and being an awesome part of the channel. Again, as always, !BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. !Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And !Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage, and send the message we will do so in the future in other similar situations. And thank you, Prince Justin, for those. Speaking of Prince Justin, thank you to my wonderful mods today, Dragonspear, Prince Justin, Shadowed Mage, Triffany Metz. Thank you as well to my wonderful Patreon supporters and subscribers, Dragon, Prince Justin, Shadowed, Triffid, Effect Life, Echo Alpha, Wispy Song, Trendane, and Yadasak. Thank you, thank you. And thank you to my wonderful viewers. Thank you to Hvidus, to Hilness, who's lurking. Thank you to Invisible Womans, to Jagtris, to Joseph, to Spafo, to Tanika, Vimike, WTF Mate and Zamoda. Thanks everyone for being here. Much love to all of you folks. And don't forget, tomorrow night, Wednesday, 4:30 p.m. for Negocios Infernales with Carlos and company. And I will see you folks sometime over the weekend, hopefully. But if not, then I will definitely see you here next weekend, or next week, I should say, Tuesday, for over on GOGCom's Twitch channel, more Celasta Palace of Ice. And right back here at 4 p.m. Eastern for more of the final 2 sessions of Shire Adventures to sue the savage beast. Until then, please, everyone, be good to each other. Oh, hey, Helen, it's good to see you, man. Please be good to each other, and I will catch you folks soon. Until then, everyone, have a good night, and bye for now.